Hello and welcome back to the Road to Doomsday, the MCU REWATCH show brought to you by the Nerd Academy podcast. Except no substitute. I am your host, Jared Bachman Stubbs. Joining me as always, but I think just went to. Okay, she's back because StreamYard fucking blows. Is the lovely Miss Taylor.
Hello.
And joining us today is our resident Green Lantern, Professor Travis Grossman. And to that I say,
Oh, we got a double crack.
What you got there? What's in the can?
it's just Diet Mountain Dew.
Hell yeah.
What do you have in the can?
Are you diet over zero? Is that the world that you're living
Whatever I can get in a bigger case.
It's actually
That's fair.
zero sugar. It's just Mountain Dew, zero sugar. Travis, what do you have in the can?
in? Oh, it's Sunkist.
Also zero sugar, I see.
Yes. You have to cut the caffeine after noon.
But it is not just the three of us mainstay TNAT people, because we were talking about Avengers Endgame, maybe the best superhero movie of all time, question mark? I think so. We also have our own portals opening, and joining us for this episode as well is Mitch692 of the Comic Book Cast and the Mitch692 channel.
You're
and he's
muted.
He doesn't know he's
You're
muted.
so good at portals. You're muted.
You're still muted, buddy.
Can't hear you.
Anyway,
You're so good at portals, though. It was
I
so
am. Thank
impressive.
you. I appreciate that. I appreciate
I
He was-
honestly was so impressed.
it. Thank you.
He was using
This
the,
movie would have been 5 minutes long again, like Infinity War.
He was using the crimson bands of the mute button there on his way
I
in.
was.
But we are also
That's
joined by
unfortunate.
now. It's funny because the last time we had this person on, there was an epic confrontation singles championship match that had not yet happened at time of record. That this episode would be out after, so I had no way of knowing for sure. And this is happening again. So, co-host of Anytime with Ken and Alden, co-host of Casterly Talk, and the current, maybe, epic confrontation singles champion of the world, Alden Diaz.
Forever
Congratulations.
champ. The forever champ. You know, I honestly wanted to do a bit for the portals entrance, but I couldn't think of a bit. I almost did like a flip up, kind of like Pepper does. But then I was like,
yeah.
I couldn't have
Oh, that's
signaled you
funny.
that I was gonna do it. So just know that I wanted to.
Honestly,
Great to be here.
Just thought that
Is it the
counts.
greatest superhero movie of all time?
perhaps.
No, because it's not Logan or the Batman or Into the Spider-Verse. But it might be that fourth Rushmore slot. It might
Yeah,
be, depending on the day.
There are four
It
guys
could
on
be.
that mountain.
It may be.
It
I
could
don't.
be.
I know.
And soon there will be so many guys. I'll make your head spin.
So many guys.
But yeah,
I want the record to show I was beaten to the punch on a Trump voice on this episode.
If anybody is keeping along, that's a different bingo. marker.
this is unfortunately a Trump era MCU film.
Yes.
It
where
is.
It is,
Trump
yeah.
won. So
Indeed.
A Light in the Darkness was this movie. Anyway.
Yeah, a light in the darkness. You know, good triumphing over evil to the degree that it leaves me in a borderline catatonic state. Those of you who listen to the audio commentary tracks basically heard nothing but me weeping and
Whimper.
cheering for the back hour of this movie. But when one of your favorite
That's a lot of
superheroes, that's a
to be
lot of
doing
movie and a
Honestly,
lot of tear.
minimum hour and 26 minutes.
That sounds right. I was crying early on too.
How long I was crying during the movie.
But if Avengers Endgame gets
God, I
you
would-
teary-eyed, the best way to wash those tears down is with Sunday's Bloody Mary, the most badass bloody accoutrement in the multiverse, the
As
three-time award-winning
Thor's
spicy mix.
favorite Bloody
Yes,
Mary.
Thor's favorite. Thor says he wants a Bloody Mary, and I think this is also Asgard's favorite Bloody Mary mix.
This
So-
is what they get in New Asgard, baby. I'm telling you right now.
All the bars in New Asgard are using Sundays, baby. But if you want to help out your favorite nerds, use the link in the description down below and use the code TNAP, TNAP at checkout to get 10% off your order and help out your favorite nerds while you do it. Who is ready for some endgame trivia?
I feel like I am the most ready.
Yeah, Taylor was a
I think
smart
by
ass.
default.
Well, no,
By
I was
default,
just
you've
being a
studied the film.
dickhead. Yeah, I know. I was just being a dick during the movie. I was like, every single time something came up that I was like, Jared's gonna make this a trivia question. I was like, ha ha.
She's
I was like,
gamified
Well,
my
it's very
game.
easy to
brother.
rattle him. It's very easy to rattle
It's
him
super-
in
yeah,
matters of
no.
trivia. So
Yeah, I was like, that's a
does
Russo
happen.
brother. That's a song that came out in this year. That's a this thing.
Oh, that's right, because this is the MCU debut of Gay Joe Russo.
Yes.
His favorite MCU
Immediately, I
character.
was like, that's Russo. And I was like, wait, he's the gay
I wonder
one?
if he's gonna be in Secret Wars.
I hope he is.
I hope
he's
so.
representing
That's the secret
people.
fifth teaser.
Yeah.
Just a really dreary and depressing second wedding going into Avengers Doomsday.
Gay Joe Russo returns.
So I'm going to pass
Anyway.
each question along. We're going to start with Alden, go to Mitch, then Travis and Taylor. Just so if somebody doesn't have the answer, we'll just keep going that way. True or false? This is the first time the team featured in Avengers issue 1 is depicted on screen in one film. Alden, I throw to you first, sir.
I'm gonna throw the question back to you just to make sure I understand it. True or false? This is the first time that the team featured in Avengers 1 has been in a film together.
Yes.
Avengers issue 1 in a film together.
Yes.
Well, we gotta, nerds will know that there's a glaring omission there that you gotta account for. Well, hold on. In a film together in the same scene or in a film together?
In a film together.
Then yes, yeah, it has to be true. Yes.
Okay. I'm not going to say yes or no on this one. Mitch.
No, it's true. It's true.
Travis.
I'm defaulting to the people that know Marvel Comics more than me. Yes, true.
Unless you want to be technical and say the cover is what you're talking about and not what's inside of it.
No, I'm not talking about the cover specifically,
Yeah.
Taylor.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
True or false? This is the first time the team featured in Avengers #1 is depicted on screen in one film.
Hold on. Yeah.
It is.
Are you going to
because
put
it
up the
is-
Hank Pym?
So
Well, I
you-
started to psych myself out because I was like, well,
Technically,
the
he
primary
wasn't, because he
MCU
was in the
Ant-Man
pictures,
is
but
not
anyway.
is not that. But then it's also, your Wasp as well as Janet, and Janet's only been in 2 movies, so then by default it has to be this because that's Ant-Man and the Wasp. I was just going down these different roads.
it
You have to
works
remember
both
to
ways.
move Steve out
because-
of the equation entirely.
Exactly, because if it works both ways, where if you want to go Hank Pym, Janet, that is true, and if you want to go just the heroes called Ant-Man and Wasp, also true. So there you go.
But their little pictures are there.
How early does the Ancient One say the Hulk is to find Doctor Strange when they go back to New York?
Well,
Anybody else?
well,
It's 5 years.
Yeah.
yeah, it
5
is
years.
fast, yeah.
You're about
Sorry, I'm
5
breaking
years too
Jared's
early.
game again.
What year does Avengers Endgame take
Crazy.
place in?
That's a
Which
trick
part of
question.
it?
I'm not gonna just immediately.
Okay. After 5 years later, when is like
Well-
the current day?
Yes.
Hmm.
The current day is 2017.
After 5 years later.
Oh, after 5 years. Oh, after
Yeah.
5 years later, not the 5 years of, not
Right,
the 5 years
like,
since
we
New
cut-
York to.
We cut
20
Thanos' head off
Yeah.
5 years later. What is the year?
2023.
That is correct.
2023, yeah.
2023.
One of the last good years on record.
Indeed. Taylor, you made me pull out the big guns because I can't ask about the gay Russo anymore. So, to Taylor specifically,
Oh.
what comics legend appears as a member of Captain America's support group?
Oh,
We
bitch! I
talked
don't,
about this in Infinity War.
Shut the fuck up, Mitch.
I don't remember.
I actually do have a genuine answer to this, not knowing for sure. Like I don't have inside info.
Can I phone a friend?
Alden, you throw yours, because I know Mitch knows. I just wanted to be a dick to Taylor because she tried to big dick me
So
on gay
I
Russo.
don't.
Ah!
So this is what just happened in my mind. Nobody react because I don't want. I have two that emerged in my brain.
Okay.
In my mind's eye, I saw a bald man with a goatee, and that could be Ed Brubaker, and it could also be Jim Starlin, one who is a primary Cap guy and one who created Thanos, and so they both feel right. But I'm gonna say Brubaker, but they could both be wrong.
Mitch?
It is Jim Starlin.
Yep.
It's Jim Starlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Bald.
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 I met Jim Starlin once, and I got a print of Thanos fighting Thor, and he signed it, and we took a picture together, and it was shortly before this movie came out. Really nice man.
Oh, that's awesome.
Was he still bald?
Still bald.
Sources say. Still
Multiple sources can't confirm.
Mul-
And then
Multiple.
for our last question, what iconic Stan Lee catchphrase is on the bumper sticker of Stan's car in his final MCU cameo? I'll just kind of let you guys take a pick because the structure went out the window immediately.
Well,
It is Excelsior.
the obvious
right?
one, I feel
No,
like,
it's
is
not.
too
No.
It's
it,
not?
It
well,
is not Excelsior.
I was gonna. I thought that, but so then I went with Nuff said.
It's enough said.
It's enough said.
It is.
It's
It is enough said. I have the exact.
Psychedelic as fuck.
I have the Nuff said sticker that is his bumper sticker on my other laptop. That's one of my favorites.
I
But
didn't know about that, but
for a little bit of background, originally meant to be titled Avengers Infinity War Part 2, Infinity War and Endgame were shot back-to-back in a massive 200-day shoot across New York, Atlanta, England, and Scotland. In the wake of the Empire Strikes Back level cliffhanger, audiences were left clamoring for the follow-up, and to keep fan expectations at bay and to keep Marvel Studios' deck well hidden, very little was shown in the first full trailer for Endgame, showing very little action at all, or even any footage from the second act of the film, barring the beginning of the time heist. In fact, the subtitle for the movie was not even revealed until that very trailer. A fact I forgot about until we were watching the movie, that we didn't even know the name of this shit until the first trailer. Avengers Endgame had an estimated budget ranging from $356 million to $400 million and made just under $2.8 billion at the box office. So I think this movie did pretty
I'll
okay.
call it a win.
Absolute L.
Before or
This is
after
an
this
absolute
MCU's dead.
MCU's
No.
dead.
It's a flop. It's a flop.
What did you say, Alden?
I just laughed. I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you said something. Sorry. Well, kind of kicking
He
it
said-
off, Alden. I know you have a funny story to tell.
Dude, I live in his head. I live in his
I
mind.
thought I heard your voice. I apologize. I know we're fighting with StreamYard. I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing you.
I'm gonna tell you right
Um,
now, Cult of Personality comes on and he immediately is like, Alden.
Mhm.
Looks longingly out the window like that SpongeBob episode where he's at the chum bucket.
Yep.
Then
Go on.
here
That- Is that
Go
wait?
on,
Is that
Jared.
me and Alden? Is Plankton and Crabs? Because I really don't want that.
Oh,
I will
no.
take
No,
any
no.
other rivalry but Plankton and Crabs. I know what you're talking about, but I'm just now realizing that. But Alden, where were you? What was going on when you first saw Avengers Endgame back in ye olde 2019?
Sorry, you were like so frozen for me, and I just heard the word 2019. So I'm gonna assume you lobbed it to me
Yes, I
Avengers
did.
Endgame in 2019, and we're just gonna roll
That happens
there
to
because
me
I
so
knew what the question was
often
gonna be.
anymore that I just
So
leave and come back.
oh, it's getting so buggy. Yeah, I'll leave if anything, and then I'll pop back in. But I'll answer the question. So this was interesting. I was kind of telling Jared a little bit off air that it was kind of a frustrating experience because I got the excitement of being able to see this early at a press screening through work. When I was working for iHeart, they had a screening of it in Miami at a really fancy theater called Silver Spot that they like, which I don't prefer these kinds of theaters, but they serve food and beverages during the movie, which annoys the fuck out of me.
Jared has a
Which
hometown
plays
theater
into
that
why
does
it was
that.
annoying.
Oh, it's awful.
Oh,
Jared has a
I
hometown
can't with
theater
that.
that does that
I
that
can't with
his
that.
Nana is obsessed with, and we have been there. Were we there for the worst movie that's ever come out?
Well,
Yeah,
why
that's
are you
where we
throwing
saw more
her under
views.
the bus? What did she do?
No,
I didn't
Nana.
say, what? That
Nana.
movie doesn't really deserve
That was a great.
as
That
much
was a
respect.
great choice for Nana to make for a bad movie. Honestly, I was like, "This is pretty good. This is pretty good." I did leave to get high in the middle, but this is a pretty good movie. I missed 20 minutes of it. But yeah,
Well, that was your Morbius minute, I guess.
precisely.
A feature
I only
that
get
you should
one.
add
I only get one
going
for. I get
going
one
forward.
For series.
The morbid minute.
So I go to this
I get
thing.
one per phase.
It's people that don't care. It's like scattered people throughout. They don't care. They're either critics or they're just radio people who mostly have awful taste and are just trying to be influencers. And it was just the vibe was not there. I didn't have any of my friends with me. Someone ordered a cappuccino next to me while they were pulling into New Asgard, and I wanted to strangle somebody. I also couldn't shush people the way that I normally would because it was a work thing. So it just kind of like I absorbed the story, but I almost had to keep my emotions at bay and just be like, this is not real. Like I had to pretend that I was kind of reading it. Like I was like,
Yeah.
take this in academically, like you're reading a comic or something, and then you'll have the rock concert on opening night because I already had my tickets, obviously. So I absorbed the story. Now, the frustrating thing was that I was producing morning radio on a rock station, so it's very, dudes and blabber and blah blah blah. And they were like, "Oh, Alden, the producer, saw the new Avengers. Come into the studio." And I went in there. We have between the 7 o'clock and like 9 o'clock hour. There's probably 300,000 people listening on average, and they're putting me on the spot unexpectedly. And I thought they were just going to ask me how it was. And the second my mic goes on, they said, "So who dies?" And then in that moment, I was like, I remember being like,
Sorry, I peeked out of that.
I was like,
I screamed.
I literally was like, I am under the strictest of secrecy. I cannot confirm nor deny that there are even scenes in the movie. And so I just basically had to just resist questioning. And they were all asking me off air too. And I told a couple of them that didn't care. But then opening night was, incredible, amazing. Everybody else can talk about that because that I feel like this is one of those universally agreed upon. It's like this, Infinity War, Avengers 1,
Yeah.
the last Harry Potter, Awakens, like those ones that are just like earth-shattering theater nights, and this was one of them.
Hell yeah. Mitch, what was going on for you at the time?
This
How you feeling?
movie was the last time that. So, to give a little bit of history on it, when I saw all of Phase 1 apart from Avengers by myself, right? Because I was busy with college and uni at that point. By sheer happenstance, me and one of my really good friends from high school, on the same day, just randomly decided to go see Avengers 1 completely separately, but we ended up at the same showing. And then from that point on, we saw every MCU movie together.
Oh, that's sweet.
Get to Endgame, and it ends up being the last time we actually saw an MCU movie together because he then moved away. So it's a bit of a bittersweet one for me, but the Endgame kind of fits thematically really well. But yeah, but no, it was one of those moments where, what was it? the culture difference between America and especially England when you watch a movie is you don't make any noise. You sit and you watch that, you're silent. But Endgame and Infinity War were the only two times I can actually remember where people were making noise.
Right.
Most of it was crying for Endgame, in fairness, but so a bit slight culture shock in that one.
I can relate. No, it's funny you mentioned that, and I'll say it in my own, but like growing up, I had never really experienced like hyper reactive crowds in a movie, honestly, until The Force Awakens. Like that was the first time like people were clapping, people were cheering, people were kind of loudly crying whether they wanted to be or not. You know, you could hear gasps and hear the air get sucked out of the room. That was never a thing I had ever seen happen until then. And I remember, like, I'm glad that that's a thing now. Like, it makes that opening night communal experience so special and beautiful. And that story, you said, it is very bittersweet, but it does have that, part of the journey is the end edge to it.
Oh. Mitch, you gotta go see Doomsday with him, man. You gotta go. You gotta travel.
He lives like 3 hours away now. We can't set it out. We can't make
3 hours, brother.
Meet in the middle.
3 hours for the UK is a lifetime.
I know it is, and that is where I will challenge you because I know it is.
I'd have to get on the M25, the M1, and fuck.
Oh my goodness. And Jared and I have casually driven 8 hours to see fucking Bill.
Like it was nothing to hang out with Bayou Billy.
Bobby
But Travis,
Bill, if you will, you disrespectful man.
But Travis, I ask you because if memory serves, I know we didn't see it opening night together because I have a picture booted up. I believe we linked up opening weekend or the weekend after. So what was going on with you the first time or two?
This is the movie that got us podcasting together.
Yeah.
Because so
you're right. Holy shit. Oh my God, you're right. Holy Christ. Okay, keep talking. Oh my God.
So I had been
Jared doesn't even remember.
How dare you? No.
You forgot your anniversary, Jared.
As Alden started
this man
talking
said,
about,
I don't even know who you are.
As Alden started talking about like the build, I'm like, okay, so I remember because we ran into each other opening night. And I remember that. And then like the cogs started turning. I'm like, wait a minute, I did my first Hall of Heroes was talking about Endgame.
Yeah.
So I've been home for 6 or I was almost at a 6-7 joke, not intentional. No, it had been almost a year at that point.
Wouldn't have got it because I don't understand.
It's plagued me everywhere because now I like when you say like, oh, it's about 6 or 7 times, you're like, I can't do that. The kids will get me. They'll come for me.
Don't understand it.
But I've been home for almost a year. My best friend Zach and I had linked up, and we had seen a couple of movies. Like we saw Into the Spider-Verse together,
right?
And like I hadn't really reconnected with anyone back at home. I had just moved back home. I had just been through a lot with my family, and
right.
So he was like, "Yeah, let's go see Endgame." I was like, "Cool." Well, we got tickets to like the very first showing, and we went into the mall to get food, and while walking around the mall to kill time, we passed you, Jared, and we were like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
Like it was a very brief because like we were on our way to our showing, like it was time for us to go over, and you still had time to kill, I think, and so it was like just a brief like, oh my God. And then obviously the movie was incredible. Everyone was screaming in the theater. And again, not something I'd ever really experienced, but this is the only time I've ever been accepting of it. And not the only time, but like one of. And like talking to strangers around me about the movie and just that, like, we all just did that. We all just watched that. That was incredible. And then like the next, like maybe a day or two later, I texted you and like I was just like, "Hey, we should go see this together," even though we've both already seen it. And I think it was like the next
Right.
weekend we went to the local theater where they serve food to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
We went to a
That's
show in
where we-
Latrobe.
Dude, the Latrobe Theater is so wild because it is 2 auditoriums with these long, weird looking tables. And the reason why I make fun of my Nana for liking that theater is she's always like, the seats are so comfortable. They're fucking desk chairs. They're goddamn, they are no different than what my ass is in right now.
Yep.
And it never is always boggled my mind. And she's
See,
like,
I
oh,
don't
yeah.
think I was like necessarily uncomfortable in it though, and I think that is the problem that like I'm psychologically, because I'm like, well, if I was uncomfortable, that would have been a shitty experience all around, but it wasn't that bad. I've had
Well-
worse experiences at a theater.
Well, I'm excited to tell my version of the story. So Taylor, I'm going to throw it to you because holy shit, you unlocked so
Yeah.
much of that for me, Travis.
So I fully remember. I remember this movie just the same way I think everybody else remembers it. It was the biggest thing that was happening at the moment. I do remember being in the theater with somebody who I at the time had not really spoken to in 2 years. Solely because she and I, and this was Nicole Portman, one of my casual friends at the time who Jared has actually met
Yes.
at a wedding for another friend, and she and I had saw it. I was like, hey girl, I know we haven't spoken in like 2 years and I just came back from another country, but I'll be there to pick you up. I already bought the tickets. You cool with that? And she was like, I was hoping you would ask. And so we went and we saw it. It was great. It was wonderful. We went to Red Robin afterwards because that was the only restaurant in the entire area we were at for the movie, and it was great. I remember speaking to other people in the theater, like just the guys who were sitting next to us. I remember everybody being so excited. It felt extremely communal in that moment.
Yeah.
And I it's one of those things where you're like, oh, I'll never forget that. Just a genuinely great, wonderful experience in a theater where everybody is fully engaged. I feel like we don't necessarily get that as much right now in theater experiences because everybody is either doing something else, talking to their friends, or fully just not in the
Making
same room.
sweet, sweet love to a cappuccino, apparently.
Yeah, like it is one of those situations where where they're like,
So nobody heard a fucking thing you just tried to do
Makes
there.
me want to
honey.
unalive myself.
But yeah, no,
Where
like
we
you have
becoming?
people who are just so fully detached from the experience. But this was one of those things where it was opening night. Everybody who is here had bought the tickets 2, maybe 3 months in advance. And it is the moment. Like it is everything. And it was absolutely
And for once, that phrase actually means something. Continue.
it was the moment. No, it was just absolutely wonderful. I had such a great time in the theater, and everybody gets posters. It's the whole thing. It's the whole song and dance. It was great.
I
Jared?
remember. So what's funny is to kind of like Lion King 1.5 Travis's story here. I was at work. My I had been negotiating for like weeks with my manager at the time, who fucking sucked. About, hey, I'm going to see Endgame to like this night. Is working that Thursday. Is it cool if I peel out like 10 or 15 minutes early? Because I know the theater I'm going to, I could walk to from here, but I want to get a decent seat. Is it okay? And he basically kept like, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. And then basically, because I was convinced he wanted to see if he could make me quit, which eventually I did. he basically was like, no, he's like, just in case there's a rush because there's a lot of foot traffic in the mall today. And I was like, you and I both know there's foot traffic in the mall because there's people killing time before they go to see goddamn Avengers.
Yeah.
You and I both know that is why there are people here. Nobody's buying shit. They just want to look at things before they watch Avengers. I run into Travis, as he said. So I am flying out of there. So I have a picture from the night. TNAP regular viewers will recognize Kaysen on the far right there, who said, and I quote, "I don't have Marvel shit to wear at all, bro." And I just gave him a Marvel t-shirt that I think he still has.
He does.
At the time, the other show I did, Hall of Heroes, we did some like Avengers Endgame themed merch. That's what myself and my buddy Zach, a different person named Zach, whom I also saw the movie with the same night, had on there. And yeah, it's funny because like December of last year, talking about 10 years of The Force Awakens, I brought up how excited I was, how excited I am in retrospect, and how happy I am in retrospect that we had seats all the way back, all the way at the top, and that I could look down and see the crowd and see the reactions. And at the time, I was pissed off because I wanted to be in the middle. And when Endgame came out, I was pissed off because I wanted to be in the middle. And Zach, Kaysen, and myself ended up literally dead center front row. We spent the movie like this, like literally all the way back, pivoting in our seats to be able to see the ends of the screen.
My mom and I saw Wonder Woman in the B row. So A, B, middle section. We were like this. And my mom was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
See, the only thing that could have made it better is if it was an IMAX showing and we just had like Giga Chad Thanos. But not an option at the time. But I remember being pissed about the seats. But in the same way that looking back on it, I'm glad I had these kind of suboptimal seats for Force Awakens. I'm glad I had these seats because even though I could not physically look behind me to see the crowd, I could feel every single person in the space. Every time something big happened, Alden, you called it a rock concert. I was jokingly calling it, feel like we were watching a wrestling match live. Like, that is what it was. It was just that communal, just deeply spiritual moment. And every moment, and I said in the Infinity War episode, like, we ended up in a kind of sparse, barely reactive crowd for Infinity War. And I was a little jealous because I'm hearing everybody telling stories about gasps and rounds of applause. That wasn't really happening. But for Endgame, I'm right up front and I can just hear it. Everybody losing their shit the whole movie. And it was just so magical. And I think on some level I have like a sense memory of looking up at the screen in that way quite literally made it feel as big as it was. Like, I think I had like some type of psychological subconscious reaction to it that this movie is huge because I physically could not like comprehend it visually because I was like a matter of inches away from the screen.
Like when my grandpa talks about Ben-Hur because his car was parked too close to the drive-in.
That's fucking awesome. But no, and it was just such a magical experience. I can't watch the movie without crying. I cry in different places when I watch it today. I remember
5 minutes.
I cried in the first 5 minutes.
And then he was like, "Can you tell I'm crying?" And I was like, "Is that all the sniffling? What's going on?" He was like, "Yeah."
But I remember so vividly as the portals are starting to open, getting really choked up. Like, just my chest was tight, and that big fanfare kicks in, and on Avengers Assemble, it all came out. And it was just that moment where I think everybody here can agree. If there was ever a doubt about how fully realized the feeling of reading a comic book coming to life was by the MCU even before this that moment was unfucking deniable. There was no getting around. Like it is like the scene looks like a splash page, you know, and it's so captivating and so overwhelming. And I did it today when we watched the movie. I did it back then where I just wept from that point on. Opening night, I calmed down for a little bit during the battle, and I was excited and I was hyped. And then, you know, we get to Tony and his sacrifice, and I'm weeping. I start weeping whenever Doctor Strange holds up the one, and I'm like, "Oh God, it's about to happen!" And
You
it
started
happens.
weeping when the ancient one said that, like, "Oh, I must have been wrong."
I wasn't crying then. I did
Really?
not. That did not make me cry.
Yeah.
I will own up to crying a lot. That did
I
not get
thought I
me.
heard a little sniffle.
I am also congested, but I also was crying, so who
okay.
knows? But the
Maybe it
so
was my sniffle. Who knows?
that moment just brought me to my knees, and then we get to the funeral, and then I remember leveling out again, and then goddamn Morgan Stark's like, I want a cheeseburger, your dad liked cheeseburgers too, and then I was just fully gone, ugly crying
The
again.
cheeseburgers thing is what got me the first viewing with a crowd. So the opening night, not counting the
Yeah.
pre-screening.
Yeah.
When he did this I am Iron Man snap, I got like kind of misty. Then the funeral, I like maybe rolled a single tear, and then the your dad liked cheeseburgers. I'll get you all the cheeseburgers you want. I was like, like I just like anime eyes, tears. Like it was. I was like, I did not expect Jon Favreau to come for me like that at the end of a 3-hour masterpiece. Here comes Johnny Favs at the end with what had to have been an improv.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
normal. Of like it's such a natural little kid thing to say. He probably thought of it, told her to say it, and threw it back to her. Is what I think happened. It feels that way.
Yeah.
Dude, and it like again, I don't want to. I want to make it clear. I am not overselling it. Anybody who listens to our commentary tracks during the funeral, I am like whimpering. I am crying so much because it's so affecting.
But I'm like you in that I change where I cry though. What you said before, like how you cry at different parts. That's true for me too. Because today I don't think I would cry at the funeral, but the last time I watched it, I have dad issues, so it's like I always get like emotional, but like especially now, I get really, really emotional about Howard and Tony in the past. And then and during the pandemic,
that was
depressed Thor with his mom.
Dude, okay. Not to tell every story out of the audio commentary today. We got to that.
We're getting into the notes section of my.
I got so worked up during that scene because, and we've said this all throughout Road to Doomsday. This is the first time I've like really started to like glom onto Thor as a character. You know, he was always a character I liked. I wasn't like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, Thor. Woo!
I might be misunderstanding. You mean this movie, or you mean
this experiment?
YouTube series Road to Doomsday?
Yeah,
these watches.
Thor before this, yeah.
Oh, okay. These watches.
Thor was kind of middle of the pack for me, and then watching the first Thor, I was like, holy shit, I love this movie. And Thor: The Dark World, I was just like, again, say what you will about that movie, Thor's so much such a fun character to watch in that film. Obviously, the Avengers movies. You know, I need not say anything about Ragnarok. And then Infinity War and Endgame, like, I was like, is Thor my favorite fucking MCU Avenger? I was like, I had this moment where like for the longest time, I was an Iron Man guy, I was a Cap guy.
Which is so funny because, as you know, he's my favorite comic book Marvel character, but he's not my favorite MCU character.
Yeah.
It's
so funny.
Ships in the night.
So I realized, I was like, yeah, and this is it. And that conversation with Frigga, I start sniffle crying really loudly. And then Taylor goes, hey, we have to pause. Fat Kitty's having a problem.
Yeah.
So we pause the audio commentary. I walk out of the studio still crying, to
Fully.
clean up Fat Kitty who just got done puking all over her cat tower. And I'm like still like, oh, like here's a pro and noob joke, a little bit like low power muttering, crying, like cleaning up Kiki's mess. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna get back in there. The moment we hit play again, I'm right back to the waterworks. Like it's just incredible. Getting into the actual like conversation about the movie, we've talked a lot on Road to Doomsday about how one of the big ideas of the Infinity Saga has been the cost of being a hero.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that toll is extracted from all of these people in similar ways, but in very deeply personal ways as well, that aren't, you know, they're in different measures. Some people, their journey ends in them getting to say, that toll has been exacted enough. I want my life back. In Cap, with Tony, we see him lay his life down. And I want to talk about Tony's arc here. And maybe this is the, you know, Luke wears black in Return of the Jedi kind of thing to say. But it still is so deeply affecting to go back to Avengers 1 and have that conversation where Tony and Cap are facing off and bickering. And it is the everything special about you came from a bottle, and you won't be the guy to make the sacrifice play. And I really just kind of want to get into this segment talking about Iron Man and Cap in this movie, and how everything about the way the journey ends for them, for everybody, but them specifically, feels just so earned and so just full and fully realized. Alden, I'll throw it to you first, man.
Yeah, you know, the Tony Stark arc in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I guess thus far, because you know, you used to be able to say it was a completed arc for
Right?
a few years there, but not so much anymore. TBD on that, I guess. But it you know, up until the point of his death, that is for me, and you know, we were talking about this in a group chat that we were in recently, you know, about you know these great examples of like yes and storytelling, like Breaking Bad and
Right.
Better Call Saul, where it's like you couldn't have known to make it that way, but because you did make it that way, you seize all these opportunities, you know, and they could not have known for so many reasons what the Tony Stark storyline would have been, and you can see the seams from the get. His literal second movie, they're putting him on the bench because they didn't know what the status of that role would be in Avengers, how meaty it would be. Like they're always kind of laying the train track down. So, with that being said, you could accuse this to your point about this thematic payoff from Avengers 1. You could accuse this of being a repeated beat because Avengers 1 pays it off in the third act because he's willing to do that there too. He didn't know, you know, like that he would be coming back from that. It was a sacrifice play. He tries to call Pepper to hear her.
Agree.
Dies. So it is a repeated beat, but that's the magic trick of the movie and of Phase 3, almost to the whole thing's detriment on an engagement level, as we've talked about 100,000 times, is that this movie and this phase, but really this movie, is so fucking good at making it seem like it meant to do it, that it has mind fucked people into thinking that it was a perfect ride, and they're objectively wrong. Like you don't even need to go far for examples. Iron Man 1, Shield is a totally new organization that is not yet called Shield. Iron Man 2, it goes back to the Second World War and your dad was a part of it. Like it is so broken from the get. And then this makes it seem so effortless. And Tony's arc, you don't even think that it's repeated while it's happening. You buy in, especially because Steve lifts Mjolnir, which satisfies his part of that. What's special about you is not what comes out of a bottle. Something that we've also confirmed a bunch of times, but it doesn't matter because in comic books, we confirm the same things all the fucking time. Peter Parker can only have money for like a year. We got to bring him back down. We are constantly doing these things. So like, it doesn't bother me, but it's funny to look at, but it is brilliant. I mean, both of the moments are brilliant. The payoffs are brilliant. The ultimate fates are brilliant. Joe Biden, Steve, is a miracle, honestly, of blending practical and VFX. It looks insane. He looks so good. Everything about them in this film I think is great. Obviously, there's a movie to talk about, so I'll shut up and let other people fill in the gaps. But it just like it's extremely impressive. I don't agree with all the bitching and moaning throughout the last few phases of like their absence is why things aren't working, quote unquote. But I will say I miss them. I mean, they are, incredible characters. So
it's Tony Stark and Steve Rogers. It's hard not to miss them. But like, real quick before I throw to Mitch here, what I do love so much about what you were saying with it is technically a repeated beat. What I love so much is it is those repeated beats cranked up to 1 million.
Yes.
Like for Steve, it's not just, it is about your character. It is about your selflessness. It is about your bravery.
Mm-hmm.
We have in front of us an object that is the ultimate litmus test for you are brave. You are pure of heart. You are willing to do what is necessary in the cause of good.
Exactly. It is the same as jumping on a grenade, but exactly. And I would say also just, and then I'll shut up. But the other thing too about making repeated beats with Tony is that they've made it, again, they couldn't have planned it, but between all the writers from Joss Whedon to Marcus and McFeely, like they all managed to substitute the character's alcoholism from the comics for his Iron Man-ness in the movies. They made that his addiction. Like in Civil War, when he's like, Pepper and I are on a break because I can't stop, even though the entire ending of Iron Man 3 is that he can stop for her, these movies are like, oh, record scratch. No, this man in his late 40s cannot change sometimes. So they do walk back Tony's arc in different ways at different times, multiple times. Nerds are very like, explain it to me brain, so they can't fathom that. Same way that people bitched and moaned about Han and Leia being separated, between the trilogies. It's like, they can't fathom that these characters have lives. So it's just like, I think that's maybe why it rubs up against people that Tony is constantly walking shit back. But it doesn't bother me. And
I love the
and honestly, and
backside.
this is also Downey's best performance in all the movies.
Oh, 100%.
Downey's performance in this movie is amazing.
100% agree. 100% agree. It reminds me, and I'll throw to Mitch here. It reminds me of the conversations that a lot of people were having about Din Djarin and Mando season 3. Where like myself included, like I was waffling on that the whole time. Like I don't know how much growth I see for Din. How much of it is him backsliding into old behaviors? Is it intentional backsliding, or is it rejoining with the status quo? I couldn't quite make up my mind on a lot of that. To some extent, I still am of two minds with it. But that is something I love about Tony, is the constant backsliding and how, he lands in his final moments for now on the perfect synthesis between Tony and Iron Man. Mitch, Tony and Steve.
I really like the opposite arcs they have for each other, where one has to be the selfish, one has to be the selfless, yada yada. Basically everything you guys said. But to expand, I say expand. I don't know if this is like a hot take thing to say, but this movie feels like the Russos went on Reddit for quite a lot of everything that happens on it, and then made Marcus and McFeely make it actually a good movie.
So it's the written and directed by Reddit, but we're gonna punch it up and make it good.
Yeah. So there's a crumb of an idea in here. We're just gonna make
it's story concept by Reddit, written and directed by
based on the Russo movies after Marvel. Definitely wasn't their idea.
Be surprised.
That's fair.
But I think like what you're saying, Mitch, like
the electric state.
But
God.
the written and directed by Reddit thing is funny, but like there's also what I love so much about this movie is on a certain level, like because the fans have gotten so at this point in time, like I don't think everybody's brain is quite as melted as they were then or they are now. No. There is a certain level of like the fans got it. The fans understood where these stories were heading and were able to like speak on that confidently in a not nonsensical way. And I think that's also part of why this movie is rewarding in many ways, is that there's a moment
Yeah.
of, oh, we were all on the same page about the story being told, actually. And I think
Mhm.
that's a huge part of the mythology about the Infinity Saga, is that the audience did figure it out. And they figured
They
it out.
got it, and they were also nudged at the right times
Yeah.
when they could have like the end of Infinity War, like putting in like Doctor Strange establishing, because they could have just told that story and then had Strange and this one reveal, I found the one way, like, but no,
Yeah.
they set up the one way in this movie to nudge the audience they knew they had into a conversation. And some people hate that. Some people hate that filmmakers in this day and age are in conversation with that. And I have a complicated relationship with that. I'm on the record with that. Sometimes it's very case by case. People don't like relativism in art. Sucks to suck. There is. It just is sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like they were doing that stuff and they knew that we would do that. And to your point, like giving people the language for that, like it was also half promises that were like thrown in that you guys have already covered on the show, like Joss Whedon throwing in maybe he could lift the hammer, but I'm not going to answer that right now. And then later that same movie doing they say Avengers Assemble, but you're not going to see it. Like little things like that too, of I'll leave this for someone else, and then people being smart enough to be like, yeah, we're going to take that. We're going to take that. It makes people feel again like they figured it out, even if they really didn't,
100%. Travis.
That's me. What you all fail to realize is that in February of 2005, Kevin Feige sat down with a bunch of red yarn and a bunch of comic book pages. Planned out the entire thing.
And a staple gun. Don't forget the staple gun.
Yes, it's very important. The Kevin Feige staple gun. I own a replica.
Next time I come over, whenever we do, I'll need
one of 14,000. In fact,
we won't speak of it.
No, but Alden like kind of covered it. Like I feel like, well, the phases 1 through 3 had a plan, and that's why the rest of the MCU isn't working. It's becoming the movie equivalent of the curtains are just blue, where you can say like the Star Wars sequel trilogy was bad because it didn't have a plan. Something I am guilty of saying on the internet. Stranger Things recently fumbled the bag with their last season because.
Hey, don't get me started on that.
Yeah.
Different. That's a secret episode we'll record on another day.
But this idea that like storytellers telling
it is. Jared can't know about it because it likes it.
I do like it. What do you say, Travis?
I'm a hater.
But this idea that like, oh, if you're making a TV show or a movie, you have to have a plan from the beginning and know where it's going to end and know exactly how long it's going to run and have an exact plan. And none of these people that think that have ever been anywhere near I haven't been near the industry, and I know that's not how it works. The Netflix, the Defenders series, plural, would like a word with you about being canon or not in the MCU. Right. And so
also those shows had a plan and it didn't fucking help them. Not for nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue. Sorry, I just had to be shitty for a second.
No, exactly my point. And so the strength of Steve and Tony is what we've all been talking about, the repeated nature. Like Tony is the hero equivalent of Sisyphus. He keeps trying to get the boulder up the hill, and every time he's almost there, he's like, wait, I got to build 20 more suits and divorce my wife. Right. Like
we're gonna get back together, don't worry.
Yeah. And then he gets to the bottom and Pepper's like, all right, start pushing.
She is the eagle.
Yeah, it is kind of this natural, and like, okay, so he won't stop. What's the natural ultimate stopping point of a person for doing anything? Right? Steve has spent his whole life not doing the one thing he wanted, and the result is that when he's given the chance and knows that the earth is in safe hands, he's like, no, I can do this for myself. you know, the institutions I believed in have failed me enough, and I know that there are good people standing to oppose them when they turn. I can rest.
Yeah.
And it's like such a good. It's a good thing they could do forever until
In
they
many
want to be sued.
ways, Tony's one of the only real 2A characters of all time. You know, he stood by that right
God.
with the means and technology available to him that he was legally allowed. So, and
It is.
he stood by that shit till the fucking bitter end. And he didn't let the government take it in Iron Man 2 because
Hell
he
no.
successfully
That is
privatized world peace.
Hell
That's one of my
no.
favorite scenes in the entire MCU. Is that courtroom scene?
Go
Oh,
fuck
it's a
yourself,
god
Mr.
tier
Stark.
scene.
Go fuck
Fuck you,
yourself.
Mr. Stark. Fuck you, buddy. Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck you, buddy.
Senator from Pennsylvania.
Anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry,
I will
Travis.
never.
That's John
I'm so
Fetterman right
upset.
there.
Yeah. This is
Fuck
fucking
you,
Fetterman.
buddy.
Fetterman. Iron Man flies by and Fetterman has a stroke. Anyway.
Which time?
Which one? I don't know. Oh Lord, Taylor, how are you feeling about the Tony Cap kind of journeys here? Because I know you have complicated feelings about the Peggy ending.
Oh, I don't like the Peggy ending. I think it's quite silly. I also have so many questions about it because I was like, wait, if he is in the same timeline that everything else is that he put the stone back into, is he not Sharon's?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. So he's totally, definitely Sharon's uncle.
He's not. He's not.
and
He
in
goes.
the same
He creates its
timeline,
own branch timeline when he gets together with Peggy. It is its
Cool.
own timeline where none of the weird shit happens. He's also
Sharon's probably
not
still
related.
his niece.
Right,
I
because
wonder if he still
he-
feels
he
like
A
shows up
Sharon is his
pre-
niece, not the 616 Sharon.
But
Well,
A
no, because it
Sharon
wouldn't
is,
even
and
be
I
a
wonder
Sharon
if-
because he shows up pre her marrying the guy that she got with in
Yeah, but Sharon's
the
his
main. So
niece,
that
so
family
that's
is
his
not even
sister
the.
or whatever. All right.
Yeah,
well, we have
but
to
she's
kind of
a
assume
she's a
most other
Carter
things
though, so she would be
existed.
coming from. Well, she was already a Carter. Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
know
we
the
have
relation.
to. We have
don't
to
know.
assume most things are pretty consistent here. Okay, it's probably her brother.
Time
It's
travel.
probably
More
Peggy's
data is required.
brother's daughter, because it's a Carter. So it's probably Peggy's brother.
You know what, man? After that distinguished service record, I think he's earned a little freak nasty. To be honest.
I can't believe that's your take.
And you know what? I
You know
stand
what?
with him.
You know what?
Like,
if that
honestly,
is
like,
the
who
take,
gives?
genuinely, if that's the take, I'm fine. I'm fine with it.
Remember
I
when I
love-
said that
I'm
the
fine with it.
MCU is the
I
ultimate?
don't like somebody trying
Yep.
to justify something. I'm fine with
The
it.
ultimate, yeah.
I'm good.
I
so-
just love, honey, I'm interrupt you for one moment. I love how in the immediate aftermath of this movie, Marcus and McFeely and the Russos were on the record disagreeing with each other about how the time
Yeah.
travel works because they got interviewed separately
Yes.
about it. And I
Yeah.
love how Alden said,
Yeah.
fuck Marcus, fuck McFeely, fuck Joe, fuck Anthony. Steve gets to get his freak on. And that is the easiest, most definitive
Hold
answer
on,
to that
hold on.
question.
because, like,
I'm
how did-
actually
because I have so
I'm
many
actually
questions.
glad you. Well, but
I
so
brought them.
I'm joking, but at the same time, I also just like in general with the like, he was with the aunt and the like. Yes, he made out with like Sharon a couple times, but I never got the vibe that they ever like became a thing in this universe. Like the
I
timing
agree.
never
It's
seemed
so
right. They never
weird.
are a couple on screen, and never.
She
It's
wasn't,
weird. It's
like-
weird.
it'd be
But I don't
different
think
if
that
she
he's like
kissed him.
sleeping with an aunt and a niece.
It'd be different if
I
she
agree.
kissed him.
Yeah.
If he kissed him, I'd be like,
Yeah.
all right, whatever.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: is that like,
Well, again, perfectly
Native.
planned franchise. Perfectly planned.
hold on, I have to
Perfect.
go get my notes.
All according to Keikaku. Or
Go find my-
Keikaku means plan.
Incredible.
But the
I'm leaving.
other let's talk. I'm joking about that, but I'm glad you brought up the time travel thing because I have a question about it. I remember they disagreed, but because they disagreed, that meant that somebody was supported by the movie and somebody wasn't. Like, who
Remember-
aligns with the explanation
About since
that
we have found
Banner
fun,
gives to Rhodey and Ant-Man?
I found
The
them.
I think
McFeelys.
Like, do
Marcus
we remember
McFeely,
that?
yeah.
Like,
McFeely, yeah, sorry,
and-
McFeely and Marcus, yeah.
Marcus, okay, so they align with the movie, and the Russos contradicted the movie. And also,
The Russos do
follow-up
Back to the
question, Your Honor,
Future logic.
does
Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow-up question, Your Honor. I have many questions.
yes,
Okay.
but does the way that Banner explains it in the lab line up with the Ancient One scene? Does Banner give the same explanation twice, or is it kind of
Yes.
fucking?
No, he probably
Yeah,
just-
no,
she
it
disagrees.
does. It does.
With his premise.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Because
all right.
so basically, when in the lab scene, Hulk says any changes will break into their own timeline. In
unless they put them
Mhm.
back.
yeah. So what?
No,
Well, what
there's
the-
always
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be a branch because you're not going back to your
No,
past. You are going back
That's
to
what
a
he says
version
with the
of your
ancient
past.
one.
Well, at this time, the idea is there is one timeline, and as long as it's not breaking apart, like as long as they are
Mhm.
returning the stones to the correct moment, then that's always been
Yeah.
what it's.
the ancient one says this very specifically. She pulls a golden thread, and the soul, like all of the stones are spinning around it. And she's like, if you pull one out, it will create its own branch timeline. And that's when the Hulk, aka Bruce Banner, in his astral version, is like, no, what if we bring it back to the exact moment we took it? And then she is like, okay, that sure
Yeah.
is an idea.
You just
And-
need to not die.
Well, no, she's like, that sure
And
is
you
an
know what
idea.
though?
And then he's like,
We're also
she's like,
talking
no.
around something though.
Yeah, Stephen Strange
We're
gave
talking-
us this, and that's why we know it's going
Well,
to
no,
work.
but we're talking around something just narratively too that like kind of undercuts all of our nerdy arguments, which is it's also possible that the character's understanding of this concept is just incomplete.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I think you have
Yeah.
to accept
That is-
that
that is
almost
true.
for the
Yeah.
fact that
yeah,
I mean, the
like
multiverse
the characters are just
saga has
fucking wrong,
proven
and like that sounds
they-
lazy.
that's. I mean, that's.
But
all
yeah,
right.
like once you
Like,
get
it's-
to the Loki season 1 finale, his understanding of it is clearly above that of the Ancient One and Strange and
Yeah.
Bruce Banner. And so it's just like
absolutely,
they're just wrong. They just don't know what they're talking about. Sadly, but they just don't.
So I have some questions.
What are your questions?
If we're so ready to answer these questions in the time heist, okay.
More trivia. Let's go.
If it's trivia, then that means there are right and wrong answers. So if Steve at the end of Endgame lives happily ever after in this timeline, does that mean Sharon technically kissed her actual uncle?
We've answered that no.
Okay.
Mm.
So if no,
We talked
does
about that.
he, as an old man, come to this, aka our timeline, to give the shield to Sam? If not, how does he get there? Because if he does not live in that timeline, how has he aged to that point and then gotten there?
Yes.
If he lives in that timeline,
Uh,
it makes perfect sense as to how he got there. Because he just
It
showed up on
is-
the date he knows that
It
they're
cut,
there.
it,
Therefore,
Steve being there contradicts the movie's rule understanding of time travel.
therefore, if he
It
just-
is
if he got
unfortunately.
regular time, he kissed Sharon. If he got there through not regular time,
It is
he did-
unfortunately one of those things that you just have to accept. And I'm not gonna do the cop out of doesn't line up. I'm gonna give you real stuff that's in the films. Like
All right,
you
here's
just
the
have to
question.
accept one that
hold
stuff's
on.
happening off screen, which is already an ask, and I
Yeah, I'm
understand
ready.
that.
I'm ready.
But the other thing is that technology is introduced peripherally in the world, whether that's Pym stuff with the quantum realm or the stuff that was in the Deadpool films but is canon because of his loose
So it's
canonicity.
not the actual
That
scene?
like it is just possible that he lived off. Well, it's possible that he lived off in a branch and then hopped over to give that gift, or it's possible that he overwrote. Like both are equally substantiated at this point.
We will find out at the end of Secret Wars.
these are the rest of the questions.
Which are what? We can't read them, honey.
Or question mark. If not, then question mark, question mark, question mark.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Secret Wars will have Steve walk out through one of the time
None
doors.
of those things make sense. Also, I do have a lot to say about Thor and Frigga.
Okay,
and
go.
Tony and Howard.
Okay, hit us with parents.
Oh, as an orphan, I know a lot about them. So I wish I could talk to my parents, obviously. But when you get the wombo combo of like Thor seeing Frigga, who is the like grandmama of all magic, the queen of all things witchy, going straight into WandaVision after this because we love that. And her being like, look, I don't need you to tell me anything because if I die, I die. Like that's not that if that is how things are supposed to be for me, that's how things are supposed to be for me. And I don't need to know that and I don't need to change that. And I think that's really beautiful for her, because she is like a goddess and because she dies for Jane. However, with Tony and Howard, we get to see this moment that Tony has never been able to and will never ever be able to in his own timeline get to have with his own father. Um, I don't have kids, obviously. People thought Jared did have kids for a minute. Very funny thing. Well, many people thought Jared had a whole baby. Nobody texted me though because they knew I didn't. They were like,
I do remember this brief snafu.
they were like, I guess he had a whole ass kid, and nobody texted Taylor because they were like, she sure as shit didn't.
All because I posted an Ionized Bastards meme, which is the best part.
And to to like know as somebody who does not have like is never going to be able to have that conversation with a parent, being able to be like, hey, you know, dad, um, I have a kid, you're expecting a kid, or vice versa, because obviously nobody is able to have a conversation with their dad about themselves in the womb. But like being able to have a conversation with your parent about like a child you may have, um, when that parent has been dead for 20 some years is crazy. And being able to revel in it and being able to actually like enjoy that moment and not just get it shut down because, of some dangerous thing or that other threat, but like genuinely being able to spend that time with him, even if it's just 10 minutes, is something that I think anybody in that same position would trade everything for.
I think again, I don't obviously have the same experience. I think on a character level, why I think that scene works so well, both Frigga and Thor and Howard and Tony, is that especially for Howard and Tony, again, we're going back to like it's the same beat but cranked all the way up further than it should even be able to go. Is that Tony has heard Howard just say, "Hey man, I love you. I'm so proud of you. I am proud to be your father. You are the greatest thing I ever created," in Iron Man 2. And where this differs from that moment is that while that's true and Tony did hear those very powerful, very meaningful words, Tony still has so many memories that are Howard being hard on him, Howard being kind of a prick, Howard being an absentee father, Howard expecting the greatness of Tony that he expects of him, but there not being a real chaser to that. That there isn't a level of, I'm proud of you and I want you to do better. It's, why aren't you doing better? And assuming the proud part
Well, and that's
is
the version of
unspoken.
Howard that we know. That is not necessarily the version of Howard that Tony has a conversation with, because once you have that conversation with that person, that's an entirely different timeline. And
I
like I
think
said
that
in the
line
audio
of,
area, I was like, oh, this is the version that like Tony grows up with a father who like actually is very dedicated to him in a way that like he wouldn't have otherwise been had not he been given this warning. And wow, what a different Tony it could have been,
well,
And
I
that's how
think
we
that
get Doctor Doom.
That honestly, how sick would it have been?
I think that the line from Howard where he's like, the kid's not even here yet and I'd do anything for them. You know, like I think Tony hearing that of like, he's always felt this way and he still feels this way when I am, you know, a kid and is able to have that hindsight now that he is a father himself. Like I think I think it is so poignant. It is so beautiful. And the Thor and Frigga stuff, you know, Thor, a character in the MCU who I am realizing is one of my favorites now. You know, we watch his progression over the course of his trilogy and the prior two Avengers films before we get to Infinity War be somebody who is slowly but surely realizing how good of a leader they can be, you know, internalizing Odin's lessons, but learning from Odin's folly as well. And, you know, getting all the way to you have surpassed Odin. Not only are you a better leader than him, not only are you more powerful than him and, you know, lightning and kicking ass, you're also the god of hammer stuff. You know, that like, you know, let go of these symbols, let go of the ephemera because it's you, Thor. And we see him begin to backslide in Infinity War. You know, I think part of it is I got my ass handed to me really badly and I didn't have a weapon. So maybe having a weapon will even the odds a little bit with Thanos. But it's also that dogged, like, oh, I need a thing. And he's had this confidence shattered and he has his big moment where he's able to smite Thanos. And that Thor from Thor 1 wakes back up, where instead of doing it, instead of, you know, just defeating Thanos and knowing that he avenged Loki and avenged the Asgardians who died on that ship and all of the people he's killed, he wanted to gloat. He wanted to showboat. This is the guy who pulled up on Laufey in Jotunheim just because of disrespect. And after that final failure, and after realizing when he does execute Thanos at the garden, that it's still empty. There is nothing to it. Watching him backslide and then have this conversation with Frigga, where she doesn't even really have the context for everything that happened because she doesn't need it to look at Thor and tell him it's not a hammer, it's not an axe, it's not the lightning, it's not the thunder, it's fuck all that. It's you. It is similar to Cap. It is your bravery. It is your truth of heart. It is the way that you're willing to do what is necessary and help people and lead that makes you who you are. Stop trying to be who you're supposed to be and be who you are. And that scene is just so. I said I was weeping during it. Howard Stark stuff didn't get me. Frigga did. Alden, and that kind of takes us into the Thor conversation I wanted to have. You being the the big comic Thor fan, how do you feel about your boy up to this point, and especially in Endgame?
Before I do that, I need to make a point about Howard real quick that I have made before, but I forget to make. So Civil War is my favorite of the Cap films and the Avengers films because it is both. And it is also a backdoor Iron Man 4 and a damn good Iron Man 4.
Agreed.
But the reason why I love the way that it connects to this film is because since Iron Man 2 started to establish the American history a little bit more, the SHIELD history and the industrial history of the MCU, there's been that thread with Tony of he loved his work with Captain America stuff more than he loved me. Like there's a lot of rejection in general. He projects a lot of that feeling onto Steve, onto you're something that Dad actually cared about and not me. And that's always been a lingering thing. It finally explodes at the end of Civil War when he's like, my father made that shield. And he like, you know, Tony throws it down. Like it's such a pathetic little thing. He lost the fight and all he has left is you don't deserve it. My dad made it. And it's like the dad that you don't even feel like you connected with, that you don't even like the relationship that they had. Like, why do you even care? It's so desperate and so empty. And then in this film, he forgives, gives the shield back, and then is rewarded sort of cosmically by being able to then make peace with Howard at the site where Captain America was born.
Yep.
It's where it happens too. It's at Camp Leahy, I believe it's called. It's at
Yes.
the birth site of Steve,
What is
where
it?
Howard did this
ZSBA
work that Tony is able to see
Training
him as a
Site.
man. And they're just guys. They're just guys, and they're there. And also low key, the whole Ant-Man legacy is also starting like down the hallway.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like important stuff is happening here. And it's like only though by acknowledging like your father had a life outside of you and had friendships outside of you that aren't some connective tissue to your neglect.
Yeah.
That what he had with Steve was real. They're both people. Then you're able to see him as people. Is kind of a very complete sort of like ending to what starts in Iron Man 2. My Thor opinion is much shorter. They very rarely have gotten it right. The most they've ever gotten it right was in Infinity War with the Peter Dinklage stuff and the forging of Stormbreaker. It's not that they've ever gotten it wrong, but in the same way that there are a lot of Batmans, but only one Batman is the Batman 2022. They have not yet made that Thor for me. I love Kenneth Branagh's Thor. I have some love for Dark World for things in it. I like Ragnarok and I love Love and Thunder more than most people. But none of them are really
Are you going
what
on
I've been waiting for my whole life.
Love and Thunder episode?
Possibly, but I also told Jared that I don't feel like raging about it for an hour, which is what I would do. I would just be pissed off at people for being shitty about art.
Alden
but I also did
has
my own
a great
episode about it. That's the real reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Plug for that.
But
Octo Radio,
appreciate
it's Alden and Joseph Scrimshaw.
Appreciate the plug. Yeah.
With an amazing framing of how it's a great Star Wars movie, which is basically I plagiarized that to have
a Star Wars movie.
I basically plagiarized that to have Alden on to explain why Obi-Wan Kenobi is a Star Wars Christmas story. Anyway, continue, Alden.
Yeah. No, it both are true. So like they've never really hit for me the complete package. It's like one will lean more Shakespeare, one will lean like Age of Ultron kind of gets it right, but then he has to kind of leave the story for a while until the third act. Like they've touched Thor that I want, and like taking the full force of the star to forge that hammer, but still having the humor of hanging out with Rocket and Groot was that sweet spot of a balance. And then this one mostly maintains that. Just to get real for a second, I am a controversial Fat Thor supporter. I prefer to call him Depressed Thor because that's what I think it's about. I know that became the vernacular of Fat Thor I know it was controversial in that. The use of a fat suit was controversial. Blah blah.
I wish he was more like Volstagg.
Things were controversial.
Rotund. I honestly wish he was more like. I wish. Give me more. If you're gonna go,
they could have done. My big thing that I'm glad that they didn't do was when he transforms at the end that he didn't become ripped. I'm glad that when he does become ripped again, it's narratively about coming out of depression specifically. I'm very glad that Love and Thunder did that, and it's about work, and they emphasize the lifestyle change, whatever. But all that being said, this movie maintains that. It gets close. It's not perfect, but I like pretty much all of it. I love the aesthetic. I love the dual wielding. I love the comedy.
Oh my
I
God.
think the Korg and Meek, his stuff is at the beginning is pretty funny. And I also think, he doesn't have as rapturous a send off because it's not the end of his story like it was for the other two of the MCU Trinity. So it's like he kind of feels a little bit undersold by the end, but it does in a way, kind of like we just drew the line from Iron Man 2 to this movie, that his push just happens in a movie people like less, his final push, because right here he learns everything you said, Jared, like it's you truly building off of Ragnarok. His final push is, okay, now you're just going to be you, but then his last lesson is that still needs to like have focus, because then when you're just fucking around, which is what he was doing with the Guardians, you annoy people. And like we didn't tell you to be irresponsible. We told you to find a path, do something. So then he finally gets there. So it's just a different pacing, I guess. But That's my
No,
Thor
I
take.
feel that.
They need to let George
And
Miller do Thor 5.
holy shit, that'd be.
But anyway.
I know. I agree on a lot of the fat Thor, depressed Thor. You know, I remember the discourse, and it was one of those instances where I was like, as a big guy, I appreciate the people who are going, stop reducing it to that. Depressed Thor is just more of a mouthful. It's one of those like, what's the easiest thing to say? Fat's a smaller word than depressed. I love it because on some like again like the physical manifestation of the depression and of like Thor landing at this not great place where he kind of goes, yeah, fuck all this God of Thunder shit. I'm a fuck up. You know, I can't get it right to save anybody. Um, and he sacrifices what I think he thinks makes him the mighty Thor. And still seeing him, like you said, Alden, in that shape and still going just ape shit on Thanos is incredible. Again, it's one of those tiny little fight choreography things. I'll have to talk about, you know, characterization through fight choreography is one of my favorite things. And seeing Thor so locked in, so serious, you know, almost every time he takes a swing at Thanos, he is trying to behead him.
Mm.
You watch every single stroke of Stormbreaker, he's going for a kill shot.
Yeah, he's 100% right.
It's every single time. And I love it so much because on one hand, it can be, oh, I want revenge, I want this, I want that. But it's also showing that he understands, like, there's no gloating. You know, we did successfully just bring everybody back.
Yeah.
I don't have to live in this illusion that if I kill you, I
No.
get it back. It's
Because
like, I know,
of the
like,
fact that like I need to, if I want to win, if we want to win, if everybody wants to survive, there is no option. There is no other option. And he will persist for that. And I think that's beautiful.
yeah, to the point where Thor starts getting his ass kicked because he's getting predictable in the fight. Because every time he's just going for his neck, going for his neck, going for his neck, trying to do chokeholds and shit. It's brilliant. Mitch, your Thor thoughts?
I really like how they handled Thor here, and like even in Infinity War. I think a lot of people. I don't want to say they don't get what they were trying to do. I think a lot of people forgot the time difference between Ragnarok and Infinity War and an Endgame.
Right.
Because it is literally what, like a week between Ragnarok and Infinity War. So you
yeah,
have this really
it's
short moment
like
where
hours,
If that,
yeah,
moment.
like he's just assumed like he's the king of Asgard now. So he's had all the Thor stuff before, but now he's like, oh, I've let an entire people down.
And
I still have to be king of Asgard. I've just like this is weight, pun intended, on Thor at that point, and it's
like on his chest, like directly in the middle, is a moment that he has to struggle with immensely because he never really wanted to be king. He knew he could not be a genuinely good king because he does not know the ins and outs of being one. Like we get to see that in like Ragnarok. That why did I say it like that? Jesus Lord.
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok, we get to see that Loki is actually not the worst king. He would be a much better duke of a small region that has no problems. Like he would be great at running like Switzerland. And Thor is like, I don't really want this and I never have. And I don't necessarily know whether or not I'm good at it. It doesn't matter to me because I don't want it. And now all of a sudden, whop bam boom. Not only am I king, I am pilot of the ship of all of the people who live in the race of my people. It's not even just like, you know, a ragtag group. It's like everybody. So I have to send half of them with Valkyrie whenever this big scary ship shows up, and the other half all die with everybody else. And the only reason that he survives is because he's the Thor, God of Thunder. Like he is going through it, man, and I can't ever. You can't fault Thor. Like, he's lost everything. How many times? He's lost his mama. He's lost his papa. He's lost his brother. He's lost his sister. He didn't even know was a sister, but is
He lost his brother again.
a psycho. He lost his brother again. He lost
That's
his
right.
girlfriend. He lost his brother again. He lost all of his people. He
He lost
lost.
at Fortnite. No.
He lost Korg for at least the time between Korg exploding and then realizing he was alive.
Correct. He also
Yeah,
lost
yeah.
Meek. He lost Meek for a while. He lost Heimdall.
Oh, yeah, he lost Meek for like
Forever.
45 minutes.
Yeah, no, Meek was Meek,
Oh, here he is.
Meek was dead for like maybe 3 hours or 4 hours. Okay, that was a long time because Korg was just around his corpse. Anyway, he also lost half of the people of New Asgard when the snap happened. So like he doubled the loss, and he for some reason wasn't even one of the people who got snapped in his mind. So he just has to live with that forever in his mind. Also,
Well,
and then he gets doubly hot. So
I think what you said is important there because Thor does say to Rocket when he's getting ready to go to Nidavellir,
you mean his best other friend? He has
his other best friend, yes,
two
that
best friends. It's Bruce and it's Rocket. Bruce,
he
Hulk, and Rocket.
he's very clear where he's like, I'm counting on dying fighting Thanos if I don't win. In his mind, there's two options here. I kill Thanos, Thanos kills me. And I think you're so right when you point that out that like when he survives, it's almost more of an insult that he isn't killed by Thanos, either directly or by the snap. Like it's
Now I have to live with everything. Now I have to live with all of my failure.
yeah, he's burdened with surviving past it.
I am burdened with glorious failure.
Travis, your Thor thoughts.
Well, he lost his brother, and no, I am a fan of taking like dialing something on a character up to the maximum and then seeing where that takes us. And my brain goes to JJK because it's running again and it's really good. And you guys should watch for Crow and Noob. But
Maybe one day.
it's good. It has one of my favorite villains.
Megan the Stallion really likes this.
Is it a villain that was already in Bleach at one point, or
I'm talking about Kenjaku.
Doesn't Megan the
that's
Stallion
probably in Bleach?
really like this? And
Yes.
if it does, I'll watch it.
Yes, she
So-
does. But like JJK has a couple of interesting characters where it's like, okay, we have this immortal villain who's not that villainous. What's their driving? Like, what is actually their like a person that lives this way's motivation? And it's like, oh, I just want to like, it's genuine 1,000-year curiosity. I've been alive for so long. What happens if I just fuck everything up? And I kind of love that. And with Thor, it's kind of, in a similar thought experiment of like, what if someone lives for 1,000 years and their entire life evaporates like prospectively to them in like 15 seconds?
Right.
Because when you do the math, everything that happens from Avengers to Endgame is like 5 years or 6 years.
Yeah.
Compared against 1,000 or 1,400. How old does he say is Infinity War?
1,500.
1,500. Bigger than I thought. He's in the terrible 1,500s. And what does that do to him? How does he compartmentalize that? Obviously not well.
No.
Never once.
And I only wish he had maybe started to come out of the funk a little bit, a little sooner, but also then maybe we don't get the Big Lebowski line, which makes me really happy because it's one of those, you're referencing a movie. One of the core people in your life was Tony.
Yes. It is very much Spider-Man loves Star Wars and
never makes a Mace Windu joke.
My headcanon
Not
is
a
that,
one.
My headcanon is that the reality in which the MCU takes place, Mace Windu did end up getting played by Tupac.
Oh, that's dope.
And what about Big Lebowski? Or is that still just Jeff Bridges and he's made that joke to Obadiah like 18 times?
100%. He was like, honestly, I just had a really big acting stint for a while. Howard
Big Lebowski starring Obadiah Stane.
Howard funded it. Howard was one of the
executive producer Howard Stark.
Yeah, he was like, honestly, I want to support your venture. And then when he died, that's when Obadiah Stark became evil because he couldn't keep acting, aka.
So he's Mysterio.
I was gonna say he was a different guy, but I'm not gonna say it anymore because that's a better one. Mine is way bigger and like more World War-y.
Weary?
No.
Okay.
World
War-y.
Because he didn't get to go to art school either.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
I think the kids are calling him Mustache Man these days.
They are, and I refuse to.
I'm still not over Alden saying unalive. I don't. Alden used algo speak, and I need to take a fucking shower because of it. That was just wrong.
I didn't do it to be funny. I did it because we're on YouTube. But it came off funny.
There was some vinegar to your voice.
Like I used it the reason why it exists.
I virulently
because I felt vinegar in the
Where
plot.
are we at right
But I just couldn't say what I wanted to
the
say.
end of the world.
But I do, because I'm like, I just like the structure of this episode. I'm just kind of like one at a time, like kind of going through like some of our core Avengers. I'll go first on this one. Natasha's sacrifice is something that, kind of moving into that conversation, it's a beautiful moment. It's so poignant. I think it is one of the ultimate. They clearly did not have everything planned out ahead of time, because I don't think they would have killed her if they knew they'd finally get to make a Black Widow movie.
Agreed. I think they totally would have kept her alive.
But
I
two
remember,
fridges in 2 movies is crazy.
I don't think you can call Natasha fridging. I don't think you can call this fridging.
It pushes Clint's plot along.
No. I think that is completely different.
Clint should have jumped off of the ledge as he did, because he is a bad guy now.
Well, sure, but like, no,
She did it for the Clint Barton social media app.
Oh my God, she did it. She did do it.
Not Jeremy Renner, Clint Barton.
Honestly, Jeremy Renner's social media app is the greatest thing that's ever existed. Genuinely, I talk about it all the time.
But I think that and to this day, there's a part of me that, like, even though the scene is so affecting and it's so beautiful and it's so tragic, I remember opening night, it was the one thing that I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know how I feel about it being Natasha at the end of all things. It should, like, to see her go before the big final battle, like, that was just, that was such a surreal choice to me.
Well, it was clearly for the power scaling, because Natasha would have 1v1'd Thanos no diff, and so they had to kill her off early.
Clearly.
I mean, Sam was doing all right in that final fight.
Right? I screamed. That's actually so wrong of you.
I love Sam kind of going like berserker mode, by the way, when he attacks that one monster and he like stabs it with the wings and he's just screaming at it.
That one monster, it wasn't that, the cave troll guy.
Yeah. But I've never known how I felt about Natasha's death. Like, again, it's beautiful.
It feels very weird, especially when they have the "here's all the women."
Oh, right. You mean the "Hey Queens" sequence?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes, Taylor figured that out. Taylor, I'll let you tell that story before I continue my Natasha stuff.
The moment that Spider-Man gets the gauntlet, do you want to know what Captain America yells at him? "Hey Queens." You're up.
Heads up.
Or heads up. It doesn't matter, honestly. Hey, queens. Heads up. And honestly, I was like, prior to this, I genuinely hated all of the women come together to protect the baby boy scene, because I was like, these bitches have never met. Okay? Like, why are they coming together like this? Listen, I am a woman, believe it or not.
Only
And
person on camera who's allowed to criticize this scene.
Okay, if I saw a baby boy, a small little baby boy out there, I would too want to protect him, but unfortunately it is not like a motherly instinct. Because that is why I hate it. I hate it because it's framed like all of these women have this weird motherly instinct towards this boy child man they've never met. And also I was like watching this in the theater, I was mad. I was like, these bitches don't know each other. Like, who is commanding this right now?
But
Who is around? And then watching it today, I was like, because the moment that Spider-Man pulls the glove, like the gauntlet out, Steve says, "Hey, queens." What is it? You're up, heads up, whatever.
heads up.
Doesn't
Heads
matter.
up. Yeah.
And then all of the bitches appear, and then I was like, okay. So obviously they assumed.
So now you need an edit where it's the theme for RuPaul's Drag Race kicks in as he says it.
Literally. Okay, no, because I was thinking more of like a Brat Summer kind of thing.
Yeah, you can do that.
I was thinking because like if they
What about the Sailor Moon intro?
honestly, yes.
So we have Travis.
I'll
has
let
been
it. Don't worry. I'll let it.
Well,
Yes, I wanted it so bad. You don't
I'll
even
do it.
understand.
I'll do
I wanted it so bad.
see, for me, I hear that and I go to disco and I go, all I hear is like they show up. It's like I'm everyone.
No, that's
Anyway,
horrible. Get out of
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
Mitch,
Kill myself.
yeah.
Mm.
I want. Sorry, no. I want,
They're all magical girls. It's fine.
they are all magical girls, and I want Sailor Moon. Anyway, when it was Hey Queens, heads up, I was like, all right, you know what? Maybe all of these bitches just assume he is talking to them.
The most convenient misunderstanding ever, where they're like,
Where every
Cap?
woman on the field is like, Cap, I'm on it. And
That's Evangeline Lilly's
Baywatch
entire
runs.
scene.
yeah, they magic girl transform, and everything is saved. But yeah, no, I
you said that in the audio commentary and it killed me. But
yeah, it was
but
the worst. I hated it, but like honestly, whatever. It could be
But
worse. Genuinely could be worse. Like multiple women could have died. They didn't, so everything's great. The scene was great. I can't complain because no bitch has died. Even though
no.
Wanda also came up and was like, "We've got him," and I was like, "It's weird that you say that right now."
We've
because,
got
like,
him. Who are you again?
You have a lot. Yeah, nobody has met this child. None of them know him.
Wanda
Like,
does.
Yeah, Wanda does because the airport fight, but that's about it.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah.
that's true.
Does because
Yeah.
of the airport fight. She's like, this child who tried to kill
Mm.
my friends, whatever. No problem.
All right.
I'll protect him.
All right.
Anyway, because Tony lied to him. Anyway, I'll protect him
So,
now. So
Natasha, back to the Natasha stuff. Keeping you on the rails, Jesus Christ. Oh, I love you so much. but no, I've never known what to do with it. Like I do, like for the most part, I think it's a satisfying end to her story.
I'm gonna go off the rails every time, much like the feminism.
But I do think it's a satisfying arc because again, like for Natasha, so much of what is set up for her in previous films is her being a cynic, being somebody who's kind of looking at things as like battles that can or cannot be won. And she has, you know, she has allowed herself to kind of drink the superhero Kool-Aid that, like, I like the idea of Natasha going, I am going to make this sacrifice because there's a chance. And I think that taking cynical Natasha, who begins to have this worldview in Avengers, again, it's the repeated beats cranked all the way up. You know, we see her willing to go to war with the Chitauri in New York. And the final like point to that is ultimately the going, if there's a chance we can get the stone, if there's a chance we can get it and bring everybody back, I'm willing to do this. And I think it is such a beautiful representation of her relationship with Clint and Natasha, that she understands, I know where I came from, I know what I used to do. You can get the red out of your ledger for the crazy Ronin shit you're doing, and you deserve to see your children again.
Yeah.
Not with the tattoos, though.
No,
That's
I have
unforgivable.
less of a problem with the ink and much more of a problem with that fucking haircut.
The mohawk and
His incredible Mo mullet.
The Mo mullet, Mo problems.
The hair is bananas. It is of the many crimes of white man, very high on the list. Very high.
We joked in the audio commentary. I was like, do I think Clint deserves to die for the Ronin stuff? Not necessarily that haircut. However, you need to take the Vormir plunge. Goddamn. It's especially jarring at Tony's funeral. It is especially jarring at Tony's funeral. Bucky Barnes basically showed up like he was going grocery shopping, and Clint is still the most out of fucking place because he looks like he's cosplaying an AI-generated punk rock drummer.
Is it? Isn't it him, Wanda, and who else? Like,
No, it's
Even-
Bucky, Sam, and Wanda at the funeral, and then Clint's
Even
there with the
the
family.
Guardians,
crazy.
even the Guardians of the Galaxy go out of their way to wear darker clothes than they
Drax
normally wear
has
out
a
of
shirt
respect.
on.
And Bucky
Drax
Barnes
put
is
a
on a
fucking
motorcycle
shirt
jacket.
on.
His nipples are covered. His sensitive, very baby
For
nipples
the
are
funeral. That's
His
real
little-
respect.
yeah, that is the. You could never ask for more respect from Drax to cover his nipples.
Meanwhile,
expensive.
Bucky looks like he's going to Walmart, and Hawkeye didn't go, maybe the hair's a bit much for this occasion. Maybe I should, do something that isn't a Mo mullet, as Travis put it.
The fact that he had it because
Mo
while he's
mullet, Mo
Ronin,
problems.
Mo problems, and I know it looks like I have a mullet based on the thing right now. It's tied back. It's normal.
It does look like you have a mullet right now.
As we started making fun of the hair, I'm like, wait a minute, am I the
No,
problem?
you have to turn fully sideways. You have to hit the profile. Oh, there you go.
So anyway, as I was saying, the haircut is atrocious.
Well, no. Here's the thing, and we'll get back to Natasha and Clint here in a second. The reason it's ridiculous is not that it's a Mo mullet; it's that it is a pompadour Mo mullet.
Yeah.
It is like
It's three
He
cuts in
chose-
one.
it's
He
like
chose that
it's like,
to wear a mask and
Look
hood
in that
under.
book that's on the countertop at the entrance of every salon, and was like that one.
he looks like a custom character who shouldn't be in the cutscene.
Yeah.
And he's making not only is he making that
so
choice,
many
he's a
mods going on right
international
now.
criminal. He's a one international criminal, and he's going to a barber and saying, "This is how I want it."
Give me the most identifiable haircut ever.
That's what fuck you. I was gonna say that. You're so
Anyway,
rude. You fucked up my whole shit, dude.
Alden, your thoughts
Damn it.
on Natasha and Clint and like the sacrifice of their arcs throughout the film?
That's so wrong. Get out of here, Richard.
I feel genuinely like we are one thing we can't control away from it working really nicely. And that thing that we can't control is that if the exact same Black Widow movie was just placed where it takes place in the timeline, had it come out exactly as is, save the stinger
Right.
scenes,
Yes.
it just been a Nat story,
Good.
before Infinity War, I
That would have
think
done
it all
gangbangers.
sings. Because now that we have that movie, this is all up a notch.
Gangbangers.
Now that we have Hawkeye season 1, that is all up a notch. It has all been made so rich by what they've done, because Hawkeye versus Yelena, especially in the season 1 finale of that show, is, and I'm saying season 1, I know it's the only season, but gotta hold out hope, baby. I need Haley Steinfeld back on my
Haley
screens, baby. Come on, Kevin.
Shouts out Bob
I think
Daniel.
that, you know, they've made it
Shouts
work
out Bob
really
Daniel,
well.
Shouts out the Bills.
But I
shouts
do
out
agree.
Dallas.
I wish that there was a version of this movie. That being said, that's my main thing. But I do wish there was a version of this movie where she gets to be in the final fight. And that's the tricky thing. Especially, and not even just because of the A-Force, because at the time the comics were doing A-Force, which was the all-women's, and it felt
Oh
like
my
a tie
God, I
into
forgot
that. It
about
felt
that.
like a
Yeah.
meet the moment of, so it was like
This is
they
what's
were
going
also
on.
soft launching it and publishing and trying to make it more of a thing. Yeah, so it's like, whatever. That even aside, that's not what bothers me that Nat wasn't a part of. What bothers me that she wasn't a part of was the first Avengers Assemble. That's what actually bugs me. She should have been there hitting a widow pose when they all finally got to do it. The fact that beyond even the characters, the fact that Scarlet, knowing that the OG6 have tattoos of being the OG6, that she wasn't in the scene, that bugs me more than anything. But the choices and where we've gone doesn't bother me at all, because Yelena, I think, is one of their best characters, writing wise and acting wise, and you can only have that if you have this. So it's, you know, so it has earned its keep as a choice.
Amen.
I really like that.
Yes.
I think I legitimately think that was the argument I needed to hear to like not feel as uneasy as I do about the scene. Mitch, to you, sir.
Because think about it, like, you cannot
What are
have
the
the whole
questions? You have to ask
third act of
questions
Thunderbolt
again.
only works with her death.
Yeah. I'm the same, but I'd never had a problem with it when it came out. It was just that there's a little, it's weird. As Alden said, she's the only original 6 that wasn't there at the end. Like, it's a fine moment, a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth. But retroactively since then, and yes, Black Widow should have come out before Infinity War and Endgame, but we can't change that.
I mean, I'll say this much. Whenever Taylor and I were getting ready to start doing Road to Doomsday, we talked a lot about, do we want to do release order or do we want to do chronological? And that was one of my main arguments for doing chronological, is I want to be able to watch Black Widow before I watch Infinity War and Endgame. And eventually we agreed that doing release order would be simpler and a little bit more cohesive. You also don't end up in like weird kind of loops of like, when do certain things take, but like what everything you guys were saying of like, I want to experience this film where it takes place on the cinematic timeline. Like 100% agree. 100% agree. As you were saying, Mitch.
I was to say that's pretty much it, but it's almost the opposite of like Captain Marvel, where Captain Marvel works where it is and when we saw it, whereas Black Widow could have worked so much more if it was before.
Yes,
right.
Because it was set in that period of time, and you know, I've never had a problem with, oh, a character's just died, here's a flashback story.
Well, I feel like
I'm always fine with that.
If you hit the Captain Marvel like note, I think that having that immediately following Infinity War, Infinity War was a much better choice than immediately following it with Ant-Man and the Wasp, because like you followed up with something that is equally large. It feels very climactic. It feels very big. Then you hit the smaller movie that is the absolute key piece that you need to kick off Endgame. Because without Scott coming out of the quantum realm, we don't get the kickoff.
No.
We don't get any of that, like the propulsion that we get from him coming back. So I feel like if you like were to have just flip-flop those, you would have gotten the emotional impact that you were looking for from them. especially with Captain Marvel, because Captain Marvel what is a great film, and if anybody doesn't like it, that means they hate women, unfortunately.
Big agree.
So it is such a good, like, rewatching it, I like through and through, I was like,
If I may, this might be a hot take. If not number one, it's absolutely in the top three. I think Captain Marvel's suit in this movie is one of, if not my favorite MCU suits of all time.
That you're the guy that says Miles' suit in Spider-Man 2 on the
Wow.
PS5 is good, so yeah, I disagree.
wow.
You have bad takes in suits.
I don't think I have
was
bad
nasty.
suit
what are the
takes.
suits?
You
All
have
right,
bad takes in suits.
what's the best suit for you guys? What's the best suit for you guys?
For Captain Marvel, the first one.
Okay.
Also a banger. I just like the
She's also
red
not
baby
Jen
blue.
you're
Israel, so
asking
that's
best-
why
No. The first one, as in like what
Wait.
colorway? The
Wait.
first one.
red on top and blue.
Okay,
What?
cool. So her first, like, Captain
Hero
Marvel.
suit.
You're
Got it.
asking favorite Captain Marvel suit or favorite
MCU
Marvel
suit.
MCU suit?
I would like favorite MCU suit, but I'm glad I
Oh,
got
Jesus
that from
Christ.
Mitch.
Favorite
I'm glad
MCU suit as a whole, or just for Captain
You have
Marvel?
to.
As a
You almost have to
whole.
approach it categorically
whole.
because it's like it feels weird to put Iron Man armors in the same category as some people's clothes. You know, like it's I don't know.
No,
It's
I
hard.
mean suit. Like, I mean, we're fighting in it. You have to be
If you're
fighting.
overall, then it's the 85 for Iron Man.
85.
Yeah.
Which one's that?
I
The
don't know
Is
what
it
Endgame
that
Iron
one.
Man
is.
3?
Oh,
Oh my
I
god.
was
Yeah,
about to
that's
say,
the
you're
best
gonna
Iron
have
Man
to
suit,
send it to
hands down.
Jared so I can see
I know
it.
people don't like the whole nano suit. It's not as clunky and
Honestly,
bulky,
the
but
nano
it's-
suit was hard as fuck when he stole the stones out of the glove because it's a nano suit glove. That was hard as fuck. I was beyond impressed. I was like, damn, gagged.
they also finally got the colors right.
I have
where there's the gold all up the arms and the thighs.
Really hard to say.
Gagged me. Dude, like, it was crazy. Alden, what was that?
He said hard to say. And the delay's kicking
Oh,
our ass right now.
I'm lagging way behind you guys, but it's okay because I'm gonna leave in like a second.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
Alden,
before Alden dips, Alden, if you want to give final thoughts and pluggables before you dip, because we're not going to be far behind you. But
I want to think. No, hold on. What is your favorite moment of the end fight scene, Alden?
Oh, great question. You know, outside of the big charge itself, because that doesn't really count. You know, everybody would pick that. I think that my favorite moment is probably God, it's such an easy one, but it's honestly the Iron Man Peter hug on the battlefield. I think is so precious and so sweet and so earned, and
that's where I started
it's
crying.
not it's not a fighting moment amidst a fight, but
It's okay. Yeah, I love that though.
it's awesome. And then my non-meaningful, well, it's meaningful, but my less emotional, just purely cool one is Iron Man and Rescue back to back in the air.
Yeah.
Hitting the
Is
double
that-
unibeams as husband and wife, I think is just so sick.
Yes. And then Alden, my other question would be, what is your favorite portion of the time heist?
It's the Howard and the Camp Leahy, young Hank Pym, young Howard, Jarvis from the Agent Carter miniseries.
Yes,
Not
I
miniseries,
named that
2 seasons.
immediately. As soon as I saw him, I was like, that is the Jarvis from the Peggy Carter.
Yeah.
First Marvel TV character to show up in the MCU films is Jarvis.
What?
That was a trivia question I was going to put in and chose not to.
What wasn't the Hydra Shield guy?
No, he
Or was that from movie
first.
Shield?
Movie to TV.
Agent Sitwell was in. He's on the Avengers bridge, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, the other thing I think I would have for Alden is what was it? I think I might have lost it. Never mind.
Well, Alden, give overall final thoughts and then do your pluggables. And like I said, we're going to be wrapping up soon too, but I know you're on a bit of a time crunch, and also StreamYard's probably going to make you take a crowbar to your setup in a minute.
Yeah. Probably. It exacts a heavy toll. I feel very deeply emotional about the whole movie. I love this movie. I think it is a feat of filmmaking. Some people will never like the fact that this franchise, quote unquote, the heaviest quotes I can possibly imaginable, requires homework. But if at this point, which was the 10-year marker of the whole experiment, you were still hung up on that, that's a you problem. I don't stand on the dance floor with my arms crossed being like, I hate this song, I hate this song, I hate this song. If you made it to Endgame doing that, it's your fucking problem.
Yeah.
But for those of us that stuck around, it just feels so emotionally truthful. Yes, it is a victory lap in that it is literally revisiting a lot of things while setting up others. Low-key being a big one, but it is still so resonant, and I think I love so much. My last thing that I'll say that we haven't brought up is that I love that it had the balls to sit with its grief and to make a committal choice in the first act, change things, to move people forward, and then to have the main character say, yes, save what we lost, but I have to maintain what I have. I have to keep this life.
Yeah.
Like, we are shifting the universe up, and we made that choice just because we could. We're shuffling the cards a little bit. We're mixing it up. You know, he's Smart Hulk now. Cassie's a grown up now. Like, it was a movie that like was wrapping a lot of shit up, but was also just shaking it just to see if it would break, and it didn't break. And it's a great movie. Kevin Feige, good guy, Kevin Feige.
Fuck yeah.
Anyway. That's my take. Oh, and that Alden Diaz wherever. It doesn't matter. Who cares? We're all we're all just hurtling toward disaster. Blue Sky is the only social media you can really use right now. Fuck Ice, and I'll see you all for Wonder Man on Disney Plus, now streaming.
Can't wait for Wonder Man.
I was to say, I believe it's out as of an hour ago.
It's out today, yeah.
I want some
Goodbye,
Trevor
y'all.
Slattery.
Good to see you.
Later,
Good to see you,
Alden.
Taylor.
No,
Good to see you, Mitch.
sir.
Good to see you, Travis.
Peace.
Let's say no offense, Mitch. I can't wait for Trevor Slattery because it's gonna remind you of, or he's gonna remind me of you.
I'll take that. I like Ben Kingsley. He's fine.
Real quick to answer your question, Taylor, from earlier before Alden gave his piece. In no particular order, Captain Marvel and Endgame, Final Swingsuit and No Way Home, Defender Strange with the ponytail.
Wait, what? Wait, what are the
Your favorite
Top
suits in the
MCU
MCU?
suits.
Damn, I fucking the worst.
How do you not say Captain America in Endgame now?
I was literally about to say that. It was
Honestly,
literally the next thing that was about to come out of my
Should have been your
mouth.
number
Yeah,
one.
for the
Should have been
question.
number one.
It's up there.
You said no
It's up
particular
there.
order.
Oh yeah.
Don't defend.
You gave the qualifier.
Yeah. Thank you, Travis. But yeah, like I said, I think we're going to be kind of wrapping up here in a minute. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I kind of wanted to hit. I do actually like Taylor's
Gamora?
question
Hold
of
up.
what's the
Yeah. no.
Gamora in a minute. What is everybody's favorite moment in the Battle of Earth, as it is called?
Travis, let's go, babies.
Oh God, I don't know. I feel like it's a lot of the same. Like,
Well, you can have the same, it's okay, but like favorite
That's true.
moment in the overall battle, like between
Yeah.
between the moment that Thanos is sitting down and the end of the film. Like, what's your
yeah.
favorite?
I do think I'm the only part of Infinity War Endgame I cry in is the Avengers Assemble run up, in that kind of meta, like,
Yes.
oh my God, we made it this far. I'm in a packed room full of people that are cheering for this thing that, like, 20 years ago I would have been given a swirly over. You know what I mean? By the grace of God, I was not left in a locker for 3 days.
Yeah. Okay. No lockers in the movie theater, so you're good.
But I do think the 3v1 of Thor, Cap, and Iron Man.
The just bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
Bam, bam. Yeah, that's
And-
fucking hard.
And like Steve, like again, I'm an Iron Man guy till I die, but Steve on the fly figuring out how to use Mjolnir in like very creative
Dude,
ways.
it was so
is-
good.
That's what I was saying in the audio commentary. Is what I love is like if you go back and you watch the first Avengers and you watch
can
Age
see
of
how
Ultron.
Thor is mimicking, or you can see how Cap is mimicking what he was doing in the first Avengers movie when they were fighting side by side. You can see
Because
that
either he's also just doing all the combo, like all the
Uh-huh.
team
with
up
his own
combos
shield,
by himself.
Yeah.
like bam, 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 bam.
Like I am a like different fighting style aficionado. That's my jam on characters.
I'm so
And
sorry. Naya just was on the like third level of the cat tower looking at me with dead fucking eyes, and I hate this animal so bad. Anyway, sorry, so bad. Go ahead.
But yeah, so like getting this, I think Cap with the Shield has always been so fun, and like how they choreograph Steve's fights throughout all the MCU is so great. But giving him this extra incredible tool for like 15 minutes it's peak.
Indeed.
So fucking good. That's
Mitch?
exactly what he needed to.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, mine is the same answer as Travis's.
Mm.
I really liked that 3v1. I like how desperate they all are at the start of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you
'Cause
have
they-
Thor throws the hammer, he barely hits Thanos. Steve barely hits him with the shield. Iron Man does the hand beam, misses him straight off the bat. He
Yeah.
goes, dunk,
Yeah.
oh crap, dunk. I
'Cause
just
they-
love that sense of
They know
they're
how close
slightly
they are.
panicking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we've won, but we haven't. If we lose it here
We've
now,
also lost
that's it.
once before. Like we
Mhm.
know that
Like-
we have failed and we can again.
This
It's
the
also a
fight,
different character to who they fought before as well.
yeah, like the
They-
fight
they-
on
they
the
know
whole
that.
is a masterclass in power scaling, and I hate power scaling, but it's like the reason Infinity War works is because Thanos has stones from the jump. Otherwise, he gets
Yeah.
cooked immediately. And
Yeah.
so
Absolutely.
watching like they don't have arguably Thor, but he's out of practice, and that's kind of the like the min-maxer
Levels
there.
it out. Yeah.
Right. Of like all three of these guys who could maybe do it. No, if we don't do it right now, we are fucked.
Fucked.
And like watching them like fight in that way is so great. And then of course getting like Wanda and Captain Marvel getting to body him is
That
Dude,
head is one of the greatest things of all time.
Carol's no sell.
Jump.
Carol's
Dude.
no sell. It's like, oh, cute.
yeah.
Like, okay. My favorite portion of the end battle is obviously that specifically it's Carol and it's Wanda. The moment that Wanda lands on the field and is like, you took everything from me, and he says, I don't even know who you are. And then she proceeds to absolutely body the fuck out of him. She starts to not only absolutely dog walk him, but then proceeds to rip his armor off piece by piece because it's just fucking fun for her to do.
And you can see that on her face as well.
Because we know exactly what she did to the last supervillain who fucked her up that bad. She literally ripped his beating heart out of his chest, crushed it in front of him, and then said, this is what it means to me. Okay, so we're about to run that back 100%. Okay, she is about to rip Thanos' armor off piece by piece and then rip his heart out of his chest with her bare fucking fingers. And then Thanos is like, actually, I'm scared as fuck right now.
Well, what I love
I'm
so much
Turn
about
on
that,
friendly
too,
fire.
fine.
what I love so
Thanos
much
is
about
like,
that,
this is the scariest thing that has ever happened to me in my entire life. This woman who I've never met, okay, I've never met her, is literally holding me up by my fucking earlobe and pulling my armor off one by one. And all I can do is kill my entire armed forces by raining hellfire from above. Because that's the only way I can know how to stop this fucking demon bitch from literally ripping my arms off, my fingernails off, my eyelashes off, and all of my hair. Okay, every hair piece on my lower extremities, obviously. There's none on my head, and she is gonna do it.
Well, what
Okay.
I love so much about the moment too with Wanda is that like Thanos in 2014, in 2018, or 2018 doesn't matter. This guy is such a self-assured, and we talked about the psychology of Thanos in the Infinity War episode. This is a self-assured, like self-important lunatic who wants to play at being a god, who wants to, a very Markion Row. I'm sad we just lost Alden because I just finished the book where this happens. But in that High Republic Markion Row, I will destroy the universe because that means my life is the only life that ever mattered, and the choices I made were the only ones that ever mattered because I made the choice to wipe it all out. And this madman builds an entire ideology, an entire philosophy around this level of
A
self-importance.
dumb one, might I add, but we don't
Sure,
have time for that.
sure, but he is constantly, constantly, constantly. It's the monologues. It's the fact that he thinks of himself as this Old Testament God who needs to speak in scripture practically. And we don't see it in Infinity War, but we see it here. This guy breaks a sweat, not out of effort, but out of pure fucking terror. And
Scared
when
of
we see,
my bitch. Okay.
and when he experiences that fear, that legitimate terror, there is no bloviating, there is no monologuing. He tries to do the monologuing and it doesn't work. It puts him in the sky. It is the immediate, he's got your Scarlet Witch flannel on. It is the immediate, like, fuck it, just carpet bomb the place. But sir, our troops, just do it.
Because
Like there,
this
because
woman,
this,
as Ronan the Accuser would say about Captain Marvel, this woman.
that there's
Direct
this,
quote.
there's all that fear, and again, there's you see the artifice fall away. You know, he has nothing to say, he has nothing to do, he has no recourse. He's just fucked, and I think it shows on a beautiful level how much of a coward Thanos really is,
Well, bitch
and
boy.
shows that fatal flaw of his hubris and his cowardice. And like for me, my favorite moment, to not say anything anybody else has already said, it is the immediate moment after Tony snaps, because I said this in the audio commentary, I believe fully that Tony's like little like psychosomatic like physical gesture in the brain, whatever was, Thanos dies last. I want him
Yeah.
to watch his empire literally crumble to ash. And
The Chitauri,
Thanos, and it's
the
watching Thanos have
Black
nothing to do.
Order.
It's him having all that fear. It's watching one of my favorite nuggets of information that I never see people talk about, that I noticed the second time I saw this movie, was that Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive recreate the
Is
WandaVision
that
death.
the dark? Is that the
Yes,
dark?
Dark Elf and the Lady. They recreate, like, Proxima is holding Corvus Glaive the same way Wanda held Vision. And Corvus Glaive doesn't get snapped away because he's already fucking dead. Much like Vision. Because Okoye blasts through his chest with that vibranium spear. So Corvus Glaive is already dead and bled out all over the ground. Corvus is gone.
Fuck yeah.
And by the time Proxima is snapped away by Tony, she, much like Wanda did, has to hold the body of the guy who was trying to kill Vision and do nothing but accept the fact that you lost and it's all over and there's no coming back from this. And
I
Thanos
also
has
love
to
my
sit.
microwave oven.
Sure. But Thanos also has to sit in that defeat, you know, and he realizes all of these bloviating, masturbatory little scriptures he has thrown at everybody. It's all been about how he will lose.
Yeah.
That his defeat is inevitable, that his failure will bring him back to the Avengers.
He knew. Well, I think it's very powerful that he knows the moment that he sees in Nebula's eyes the future. Like honestly, in a very Cassandra way of Greek myth, of Greek telling, that he sees in Nebula, he sees that they not only does he win, but then is he hunted down and beheaded. And no matter what, no matter how inevitable he was nothing at the end of the day. And I think it's extremely powerful, especially because we know what happens to Nebula during the story. We know how she is, we know her past, up at her dual past, that I mean, which is trauma and pain and anguish and being torn apart and put back together every moment of every waking second of her life. And we see that she is the one that he is looking like. It is a tragedy in and of itself that Nebula survives the snap, because she's more machine than she is organic, so she can't be affected by it. But it is also the penalty of her finally developing any feelings towards anybody, which is her family, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Gamora, and everybody else. But like, there are so many other like victims to this that it goes so much deeper. And even in this film, we get to see Nebula's dual personas, but also like the growth that she has had since the first moment that we met her. That she is even able to talk to her former self and be like, look, you don't have to, like, everything's okay, actually. Like, you, me, Gamora, we can all walk out of this, and we can also like walk out of this and then go get our family. Um, and the moment that her former self rejects that idea, she kills it. She kills herself. She actually kills herself.
I think it's a beautiful
And
manifestation of her like killing what
it's the
Thanos made
moment,
her.
well, it's the moment that she is like, okay, no problem. I am completely content with the life that I have. I do not need anything else. It is that. Like, it is a very beautiful, like, I have decided that everything that I already am and everything that comes after this moment is what I want to be. And I know that Thanos is temporary because not only have I seen him beheaded, we are so close to doing that again.
Right.
And it is so beautiful to see like this woman who can't understand how fucking like
Finger
flat
football.
finger football works, because she is so tortured that like even losing a game of paper football, she thinks is the end of the world, and it takes Tony being with her for 21 days to untrain her from all of that behavior. Like, it is such a beautiful moment of like, I don't need this, and I don't care if that version of me needed anything else. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm fine. I am so thrilled to be where I am in life. And I don't know. I think maybe I accidentally stumbled into Nebula being my favorite character of all of the MCU, except for Wanda. I think that those two girls should go on a road trip like Thelma and Louise style, and I feel like a lot of problems would be solved genuinely. I think they should get in a
Indeed.
spaceship, and I think they should just have a good time out there in the greater galaxy, because obviously we need to get Wanda off this goddamn fucking planet before she kidnaps
Westviews.
another town.
All right, here, 1 second. We're gonna pause for one.
Remember?
So, Taylor, I love all your thoughts on Nebula. I know you said you wanted to touch on Gamora briefly.
Yeah.
I feel like she kind of got caught up in the Nebula conversation too. So I don't know if you
I
have
did.
more.
I love Nebula so bad. It's honestly a problem. No, the Gamora situation I think is really interesting. I think that getting the Gamora that we had at the very beginning of Guardians is a very big choice, you know? But I think more critically, I have questions about why we couldn't get Nat back also. Okay. If we can get Gamora back at the point where she is, what's stopping us from getting Nat back when she was sitting eating her peanut butter sandwich? Why can't we get her in her peanut butter sandwich?
I
think-
guess it's the pin particles. They put like an arbitrary limit on how many times they can do that.
Yeah, but they got all the Pims back, so like he can make more. So
My thing with that has always been that I think
Yeah.
that it's more of a
yeah,
spiritual thing.
At the end of the movie, he has a Hank Pym. Hank Pym is Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer are fucking on their little island, literally fucking on their little island. Okay.
Well, here's
So
my thing. I
we
think
can
that it's
go
way more to
at them.
do.
We can go knock on their door and be like, "Hey."
And obviously they do because Steve has to go back. Obviously that's what happened. But I think to me it's a matter of Natasha made this choice. Bruce tried to bring her back with the gauntlet snap.
Yeah.
And I think on some level, which again, like this is the beginning of those themes of like processing the
Don't tell
grief and
me.
moving on.
No, but
that-
don't tell me that you couldn't be like, hey, like she. in the
Natasha made that
timeline
decision,
we
though.
Don't know. No, in the timeline, she had just reconnected with her sister, her not father, and her not mother.
And she didn't share that with them. They don't know.
Because
They don't know
it
that.
wasn't written yet.
I
like,
know that.
Because
but
you
in
can quite
continuity-
easily, you can go back and get Natasha from a certain point in the timeline, bring her back, and the Black Widow
do
movie
the
hasn't got to
same exact
change
fucking
that
thing.
much.
No,
Sure,
literally, we
I
can
don't-
grab
okay,
her
but-
after the Black Widow movie occurred.
Okay, but the things you're saying, honey, it's like we need to
You're
pick if
giving-
it's going to be the mechanics of the movie or the mechanics of the real world where movies haven't been made yet. Because in the mechanics of the movie, the rest of the team does not know about Yelena and Red Guardian, etc. Nobody knows about them.
Either because it wasn't written yet.
I understand that, but I don't care about what wasn't written yet. I'm talking about in like what the
Just
Avengers
saying.
know. What I'm talking about though is that what the Avengers know is they were her family, and they're right. She just has another family. But I also think that like
A secret
so
family.
much of this story had like in moving forward from Endgame, like starting with Far From Home and on, the core idea is grief and acceptance.
Yeah.
I think that they understand Natasha made this choice. Natasha made this sacrifice to undo it for us is deeply selfish because all we're doing is
Well, that's
taking
the
away
thing that
Natasha's
he
choice
did not
to do that.
know. There is a very big difference between like whether or not if Nebula knew what was on Vormir and like Nebula was like, yeah, Thanos had to throw her off had to kill her to get the stone. Very different conversations would have been had, right? We
Right.
can all agree on that. That's not
And I mean, that is kind of the thing. We
That's
kind of
a
got lost in the
period
sauce
at
talking
all.
about the whole Natasha thing. But like the most recent time I watched it, there was a part of me that kind of felt cinema sinsy watching it, where I was like, they just so happened to send Clint and Natasha to
I
Vormir.
said that. Okay.
Taylor
I
said that too.
during the movie. I said this would not work had they not sent Clint and Natasha. And I was
Yeah.
like, except for very, very specific other occasions. And that would have been Tony and Rhodey.
Steven Nat as well.
Well, I wouldn't even go that. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I would go there for this right now. But like, so Tony and Rhodey, Steve and Nat and Clint. But like, then we start to get into a point where it's like, well, who else could have shown up here and gotten the stone?
Yeah, and like the
Because
counter
you-
to the CinemaSins thing is that it only could have gone that way. Like when you actually examine the teams that go out, we're like, okay, the team that goes to New York has to go to New York because they need the body doubles,
Yes.
right? and they need Scott
They need
there
exactly the
for,
yeah
for specific things.
for secretive, like for spy purposes. Yeah.
Yeah, they need some firepower where Star-Lord is just in case. So they send Nebula and Rhodey. And they've been working
But
together
they
now
also
for a
said
while.
Nebula and Rhodey because Nebula and Rhodey, like Nebula knows space. So
Right.
Yeah, Nebula knows her way around like the Palace of the
dumb
Mind
to not-
Stone.
yeah, it's dumb
Thor
to
knows
not-
his way around Asgard.
Asgard.
it's
Like
dumb to not- yeah.
it's like the way they break the teams out, it just so happens that the only thing left over is Vormir, and the only people, and they know that there's not going to be a fight there, so they send the two normal people.
Yes. Yeah. No, yeah, because like whether or not you have any other options, like you know that this is all we have going for us. But again, had they not gone, there's no way they could have gotten the stone because Tony did not go at all. So that's not an option at all. Bucky's been like the other like members of the Avengers that could fill those roles of like the love character or like the beloved, like Steve and Bucky, are dead. So like there's nothing we can do about that. But like it is frustrating knowing that now we have Gamora because of the time heist. But we cannot, in the same breath that Steve is going back and doing this and that and the other thing, we cannot get Nat back because of some bullshit reason.
Yeah,
And again, had
It's because at the end of the day, it's Gamora didn't sacrifice herself. She was sacrificed. Nat sacrifices herself.
of course, but like there
It was
are
his choice
also
instead.
a lot of, to me, like it's because the Black Widow movie was not written at that time or like not in production or whatever. Like it actually feels more hollow with the Black Widow movie coming out after. Because like had the Black Widow
I
movie
fully
come out,
disagree about it being
No.
hollow.
I had the Black Widow movie come out beforehand, her sacrifice would have made to me, like as like somebody watching that movie, the found family, I have a sister finally, I have a family finally, I have all of these connections finally, her making that sacrifice, knowing that and like experiencing that for the first time, as opposed to it being retroactive, is different. And it is more fulfilling if we as an audience actually got to experience in real time with her going through that. I finally have a family, I have my sister back, I have my dad back, I have my mom back, despite the fact that none of these people are my blood relatives, but they are all I have and they are all I ever want. And now I also am willing to sacrifice that because maybe all of them were blipped. We know at least Yelena. But like, had that happened in hindsight, I think her sacrifice makes the impact 1,000-fold more important because she is giving her life up for her family as much as she is giving her life up for Clint's family, for the Avengers, for the rest of the galaxy. It makes it so much more impactful because she knows the gravity of the situation instead of it being retroactive. Now, again, Scarlett Johansson is an incredible actress. Like she plays that so straight, she plays that so beautifully. She plays that as if she knows the weight of billions of people are on her shoulder. But I think it's more impactful for us as an audience to also have seen that and known that
Fair
instead of
enough.
getting it in hindsight. Now that we have it in hindsight, it makes it feel if we had gotten it before, it's like, holy goddamn fuck. Like this is the perhaps strongest woman I've ever seen in my life doing
I say the way
biggest
Scarlett
thing.
plays it in Endgame when it was filmed is she's a woman that doesn't have much else to really lose.
Yes.
Whereas Clint has a chance to get his family back. So they're not on equal footing. But with the Black Widow movie now, and you watch this movie back, they're retroactively on equal footing, but it's not played like they are.
Yes, and that is what is really devastating to me because it's like we see Yelena go back and back and back and back and fucking back again to that moment where she lost her sister because she lost everything. Because what did she have to live for but what the future that her sister kind of promised her?
Right.
Does she go back to fucking the Red Commander? Does she go back to the Black Widow agency? No, she can't. And the person who she thought was going to help carry her through everything is gone. And we don't get that emotional attachment until well after Natasha's already dead. And that to me is such a degradation of her character and impact. Because it feels like it could have been easily not her. Like we know where Clint is. We know
Right.
what's up with
Right.
Clint.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I think
get it. His family, his this, that, the other thing, but like it retroactively it feels very empty.
It's the
losing
unfortunate
that way.
it's the unfortunate aspect of the medium where like no one dies in shonen anime, so when someone dies, it has to feel impactful. I'll never not. I use that line so often, Jared. I love you dearly.
I hate
Just
you
that
for
eye
it.
roll, just that.
Thank you for the gift. But the like, I think in the moment watching the movie, if Black Widow comes back, we all go, okay, well then we just got her back.
Yeah.
Now that means that then Black Widow might be set after Endgame, or might whatever ends up happening is different at that point. But like, it's the unfortunate. Oh, people really liked Black Widow. We should give her own movie finally.
Mhm.
And then, well, we killed her. Fill in the blanks, I guess, because like you can. I read the ending of Black Widow to be more of a like. She's allowing herself to feel familial bonds like fully finally again. Like, no, these things I've been kind of at odds with the Avengers, where like I'm not letting myself fully feel this thing with these people. I'm gonna give into finally. And then going, post blip, she might have done the research to know Yelena was blipped or have concluded that. We don't know about the other two.
Yeah.
But like, I think there's a world where like her and the mentality of like, this is it for me at the cliff still can make sense. It's just that we don't have, because women
Well,
can't
because
lead
like
movies.
I feel like it's just like because it wasn't like genuinely the issue I have is because it like wasn't written. It was written in fully hindsight. Like it was
Right. Yeah.
and that is the critical issue you have with
'Cause-
that movie blending into the rest of the world is that like you literally cannot go back in time and be like, oh yeah, we can put their pictures in the photo line of like T'Challa
I mean, if you're George
and
Lucas, you
Shuri
can.
and
Yeah.
Yelena and Cap fucking goddamn David Harbour.
Red Guardian.
But like you can't just go back and put them in the like photo lineup, but that feels like what they were kind of trying to do.
Yeah.
Right.
And that is what is really frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that. Oh, I'm sorry, Travis. You were going to say something. I was getting ready to wrap
Oh,
up.
just like unfortunately, Hollywood doesn't believe in female-led movies because
Yeah.
Nazis.
No, yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, we didn't get this
went over
incredible
this whole thing with Captain Marvel. Like it was
Yeah.
just a whole like despite Captain Marvel being extremely profitable, but despite it being an extremely good movie, and despite all of these things, it suffered the curse of, well, it's a woman, so who fucking cares? And it is amazing. And the same with Black Widow, like it is a good movie, but you hit those walls of like of just genuine like yacht rock in Captain Marvel. You hit the
Oh no, we lost Mitch.
inherent misogyny of just either the world or comics or movies or you know, whatever meta text we want to hit. Like we get all of those things, and it's very frustrating. But at the same time, like, how can you avoid that? That's the world we live in.
Mitch just texted me his internet crapped out.
It's okay. We're literally at 2.5 hours.
Hey, I was gonna say we're gonna bring it home now because we're going back into Natasha Land, and I think we could end up doubling the podcast run time.
Honestly, wait, no, hold on. Let me
unpacking
think.
that.
Let's think about what else we have going on in this movie.
I think we've adequately covered it all.
We
I
haven't
think-
talked about the rat nearly enough.
No, we're not getting into
The
the rat that
rat-
saved the universe.
the rat
We're not
that
doing
saved the
that,
universe
and now we're doing
could
that.
not be spoken about more. Because honestly, I thought about that while watching it. I was like,
It's
thank God for that fucking mouse. Like, it is
That's
a
Master
rat.
Splinter.
It's genuinely a rat. Like, it is too big to be a mouse. But like, you know, the bigger question I have: who is putting these items in the storage unit and also labeling them? Because like, the van was on the roof, like the top level of a parking garage, but there's also like laying kitchen stuff, laying living room. So like, who is going through like?
Cassie, his ex-wife, Luis, Ti,
Okay, well,
David
Cassie,
Desmalchin.
sure, but she also was a babe, like she was a child when this was going on, and it's only been 5 years, and we don't know if any
Maybe
of
they
those other people
found
are
it. Maybe they
alive.
found it, and it was
We
like
assume we have to assume because we do not know that all those other people are dead. You have to assume they're dead because if you assume they're alive, that's bad.
okay. Either way, I think there's reasons for it. I don't think it's
I'm just saying, who got the van off the roof?
I don't think we're worried about it because this is 2.5 hours long. I don't think we have time to delve into that right now.
And then the van got in the parking garage, and then it got into the self storage unit, and then the magic rat saved the universe.
Indeed. With that, I think we've reached the end of Avengers Endgame, y'all. We're if we keep going for much longer, we're going to be just as long as the movie. So with that, oh wait a minute, I was about to start doing his plugs for him, but I think Mitch is back.
I have left the poop loop. It's fine.
We have a spinning circle of death.
No, no, you don't. You're back. Fuck.
Yeah, I escaped the poop loop.
Here, hold on. We'll pause for a second while he loads in.
Been here the whole time.
Yeah, has been here the whole time. Well, we reached the end. Mitch, you came in just the perfect time. So I will throw to you, sir. Where can the lovely people find you, my friend?
Unless you have to say about the Scott Lang van incident, but
Which one? The rat or it getting exploded?
the
The
rat.
The rat is very convenient. You're telling me that rat was there for 5 years and didn't once press that button?
The rat was not there for 5 years. That's exactly what I was saying. I was saying who brought the van there into the storage unit.
How did they get the van down from the roof?
This is a thing we don't. How'd they get the van on the roof, guys? Come on.
No,
Well,
they
clearly
drove it on
Pim
the
shrunk
roof,
the van and picked it
dumbass.
up.
It's not on the roof. It's on the top of a parking garage. They drove it there, you dumbass. They
It's much better if Pim shrinks it on the roof.
well, no.
right.
You
We're not. No, I'm vetoing.
The
I'm
rat
vetoing.
is
We need to land the plane. We need to land the plane here.
The rat is deeply funny. It is deeply funny.
The rat saved the world.
But
yeah,
with
that's all my
that,
thoughts on
Honestly,
the van.
call it Pug Rash.
yes, Mitch. Final thoughts and plugs.
Still my favorite MCU movie. That much has not changed. It looks really good in an OLED. If you got a UHD player, no, just saying.
Duly noted. Hell yeah!
Don't watch it. Don't watch it on Disney Plus. Disney Plus sucks.
Honestly, I had a mental breakdown about the last movie we watched. I fully cried because it was too dark on the TV and it was too bright in the room.
Got to turn off all the extra shit your TV turns on.
Honestly, I can't because it was the snow that was out. Like it was the sun reflecting off of the snow to the windows, and it was the worst.
Yeah, that sucks. But yeah, you can if you're doing pluggies, I take it.
Yeah. Final thoughts and plugs.
Mitch692, Blue Sky, CBC, the Mitch692 channel. We're doing Pro and Noob. We're on Attack on Titan. By the time this is out, we'll maybe have finished season 3.
The scariest show I've ever seen.
Yes.
It's okay.
I don't like it.
Every time Taylor walks in, it's something absolutely fucking horrific happening.
It's never been normal.
Just think of them as drunk guys in bars. So I found out that's what the inspiration for Titans were.
Well,
He almost got in a bar fight one time, and he was like, "Yeah, you know what?
but they don't eat each other.
They do."
No, we don't.
As a
They don't.
bartender, I've seen it
never
almost
seen that.
happen.
I've never seen that. I've been in lots of bars, and I've never seen that happen once.
But yes, check out Attack on Titan or Pro and Noob. I'm having a lot of fun with Attack on Titan. Go check out Mitch692 and CBC. Travis, final thoughts and plugs, brother.
I still hold the opinion that I like this over Infinity War. I know a lot of people hold
Agreed.
the opposite. You and I are both finale heads.
Yes.
I'm also like, this is everything I want. It's Dragon Ball time travel. It's a finale. It's a Lion King 1.5 story. Like, it's everything I could ever want in a movie in one shot. My expectations are incredibly low for Doomsday, but I hope they can match it.
Amen.
I am physically incapable of having low expectations.
That's fair. That is fair.
But aren't you a Star Wars fan?
No. Not at all, in fact. Never seen a one.
Never seen a one.
Heard of it.
Don't look at my forearms, please.
Those were just really cool symbols you saw once and got put on your body.
Honestly,
No. My forearms, not my biceps where the symbols are. Don't look at the two lightsaber tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were on a flash sheet. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
makes sense.
I ironically got Star Wars tattoos.
You can find me
5
not
times.
online, because if I say things online, I'm gonna get in trouble
It's okay. You
these
can.
days.
You're
Because
allowed.
we got Nazis all around.
It's okay.
I
There's
don't
so
like.
many.
One got demoted though, so
Yeah.
Wow, what a win.
Oh, a single
Right.
one. Nice.
after murdering 2 people in the street.
Single one.
That's-
3
yeah.
if you count Keith Porter, but
Excellent. Taylor, final thoughts, and where can the lovely people find you, my dear?
this movie is a real gangbanger. It does a lot of things for me. I love it. I think it's a real swell film. And you know, I'm excited for what comes after, you know. I know it's a big world out there. But I'm mostly excited for what a woman can do no wrong. And I'm ready to see her wrongs stand rights. I can't wait.
Indeed.
And you can find me at Quicksilver Girl, GRRL, dot blue sky something or other. And that's pretty much it. Don't find me anywhere else, please. And Jared.
Wait, Travis.
Oh yes, Jared.
Yep.
Where?
Thank you. If Travis is on, he has to do the Jared Ware.
God, honestly, I wish you could be here every time. So bad at it.
Soon. You guys can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky at DarkJedi2552. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Blue Sky, wherever you get podcasts, and on our website, thenerdacademypodcast.com, where if you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon. $5 patrons get early access to every single episode of the Road to Doomsday, as well as exclusive access to our audio commentary series. For those of you at home keeping track, this episode is being recorded on January 27th, and this episode, pardon my hiccups, this episode will not be out until March on the main feed. So if you're seeing this in the main feed, there's a lot more waiting for you on Patreon. So go subscribe to the $5 tier.
Patreon, you're my best friend.
Yes. Speaking of our patrons, $10 patrons also get everything that the $5 patrons get, as well as shout outs at the end of every episode. So thank you to Paco and Ray Clausen for supporting the show. I'm going to be honest with y'all guys. Whenever Taylor and I set out to do Road to Doomsday, I was like, yeah, like we're going to do this. And you know, I'm not a quitter. I do things until I'm satisfied with them. But getting to Endgame felt like one of those. Oh yeah, like whenever that happens, and this little project we've been working on has moved at a pace that was kind of surprising. Our goal was to finish the Infinity Saga in 2025. But we're coming in at the end of January and we're wrapping up now. So I'll take that as a
We
win.
made it.
We made it, you know, a little bit over time, but we still did it. I've been enjoying doing the road to Doomsday. I've appreciated all the kind thoughts and even some unkind thoughts here and there because I feed me engagement.
You should change the name to Road to Doomsday.
To what? You cut out.
Doomsday.
Doomsday.
Doom, yeah.
Road to
I'll change the logo. It's fine.
Mitch is like, I'll make a new logo on the house.
Just totally fine.
Randomly
I didn't say
watch
for
Dune
free.
somewhere in the
Goddamn.
middle.
Literally, I'm not allowed to say, but I think, but it's fine.
But you know, all of that stuff aside, I've been having a great time. It feels crazy. We're at Endgame now,
It's
and
been a long road, let me tell you guys.
and the real work begins very soon. Now that we have to contend with the TV shows,
TV show,
but
except for the next one, which is the best one, baby.
but all of that said, thank
The
you
only
also
good
very
one.
much for checking out
The
Road to Doomsday. Wrong.
one.
She-Hulk is right there, buddy.
I know. I was.
I know.
Honestly,
I
it's
can't let.
WandaVision. It's Agatha all along.
You've only seen 3 of the shows, though.
It's all that matters. Okay.
And you've named 2 of the 3.
No.
And Travis is in the 3rd one. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I remember you being there. It was great.
Yeah.
You did a great
But-
job, man.
Thank you.
Did you win an Emmy? I don't remember.
No, they never give me the
No.
Emmy.
God damn it.
3
That's
roles
so
and no
fucked up.
Emmy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Really wrong.
Yeah.
Did they give you? Were you nominated for an Oscar this year for your brilliant performance in Frankenstein?
I honestly don't know. I saw a couple
I
names
don't
about
have
it.
remember.
to say, unfortunately, I don't think you were.
I think so.
But you did. You made it in my heart. So
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
But all of that said, thank you all so very much for joining us. Next week, he talked about like this is the end of the Infinity Saga. Technically, the end of the Infinity Saga is Far From Home. But next week, Spider-Man Far From Home, in my opinion, a beautiful epilogue to the Infinity Saga, a beautiful epilogue to Avengers Endgame. That, in my opinion, is a wonderful pretext and preface for what the multiverse saga is all about. And I'm very excited that we're about to be out of Phase 3, out of the Infinity Saga, and into the modern MCU. So, with all that said, thank you.
I hope a lot of people who subscribe to the audio commentary are ready for a lot of thoughts I have about the next movie. So be ready. Be prepared. Let me just say right now, you guys are gonna love it all too well.
Damn. Well, when we check back in with Spider-Man, now that he's back in the world of the living, we will see you on the next steps on the road to Doomsday.
Bye-bye.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar.